Welcome. So this is a 100% free SaaS course. So if you ever wanted to build a SaaS or grow your current SaaS business, if you watch this course from beginning to end, I can almost guarantee that you'll see some growth after it. And I want to start by first telling you what the course is and how it's structured. The very first module is basically an overhead view of from zero to hero. So from ideation to exiting your SaaS, the whole journey of a SaaS business owner packed in 20 minutes, okay? The modules after are more in-depth modules, for example, a module on marketing, module on email, module on technical stuff, so more in-depth training of each and every single thing and pillar you need to do to succeed with SaaS. Now, why am I qualified to teach you any of this? Well, maybe I'll throw some screenshots here. It's because I've built two successful software businesses. My first one, which was a marketplace called Vetted, I grew from zero to over $300,000 in its first year of existence. I've since sold that business, so I had an exit, and I'm currently growing my own software business, SaaS business, and in January this year, we made this much money, okay? So that's why I'm qualified to teach you any of this. And why should you listen to me? It's because all the stuff that I'm going to teach you here in this next however much time it is, it's stuff that I'm either applying right now or that I've applied in the past to grow my own software business. So it's not just some fluff, not just some theoretical stuff. It's stuff that actually works, right? If you apply it to your own business, it should actually work to grow your own software business. So yeah, I'll just shut up right now. Again, the very first module is going to be an A to Z overview, 20 minutes of what the course and what their SaaS journey should be. And then the module after are going to be more in-depth stuff. So yeah, let's jump in, let's break it down. And hopefully after watching this long SaaS course, you'll have the tools it takes to either grow your own SaaS business from maybe 10K, 20K MRR, or just if you're just starting out from zero MRR to 5K MRR and beyond, okay? So that's it. That's my goal with this course. I hope you like it, and I'll see you in a bit. Cheers. Right, so we are inside my computer, and again, I want to go over exactly the blueprint I use to grow a software business without knowing how to code. Till this day, I have no idea how to code, and with zero, I guess, less than $1,000 that you can copy. Now, first things first, before diving into any training, why am I qualified? Well, it's because I've done this twice. So my very first software company, which I've since sold, we grew it from zero to over $300,000 in sales in its first 12 months of existence. And this software business that I'm growing right now, working on right now, we did 60K in January. Now, I can go over to Stripe and refresh it if you can see it, but I mean, I guess we'll leave that for another time. So here's why I'm qualified, and here's my four-step SaaS blueprint anyone can copy, again, without knowing how to code and with less than $1,000. So step one is how to avoid a terrible SaaS idea and land on one that's guaranteed to work, right? If you don't have a SaaS just yet, I want to go over how to go through the ideation process. Now, if you already have a SaaS, stick with me here because it's still going to be a lot valuable right here. Then second step is building your SaaS without knowing how to code and with $0. Third one is avoid wasting time by selling your SaaS before you build it. Now, a lot of people think you have to build it, then sell it. It's actually the other way around. You have to sell it, then you have to build it. And then how to get infinite clients without spending money on ads. Okay, so this is the four-step blueprint I use to do this and that you can do too. Okay, so before that though, I want to tell you the gold mine you're sitting on with SaaS. And I know a lot of you guys watching this YouTube channel are beginners and you don't really realize, which is fair enough, right, the gold mine that SaaS is. And so I want to give you a breakdown on why SaaS is so beautiful and how much money you can make. So let's say, for example, here's an example, right? A 1K MRR SaaS, MRR stands for monthly recurring revenue, because with SaaS, you have people paying you on a recurring basis. So 1K MRR SaaS is simply 20 people paying you $49 a month, right? Quite simple. So you just need to find 20 people, get them to pay you $49 a month, and you have a business worth 12K, right? 20 customers paying you $49 a month, it's 12K ARR. ARR stands for annual recurring revenue. Now, the math for valuations, it's quite simple, right? If you have a 1K MRR SaaS, 1K times 12 months times a 1 multiple valuation, right? It is a business worth 12K, right? You can sell it in theory for 12K. Now, if you have a 5K MRR, right, 5K monthly recurring revenue, right, that's 5K times 12 months times a multiple of 1.5, right, you have a business worth $90,000. Now, why is the multiple bigger here? Because, I mean, a 5K MRR is a more established business than a 1K MRR, so buyers usually tend to give you a stronger multiple. So the higher and the more you grow your MRR, usually the higher the multiple goes, right? And these are very low. Down below in this video, I'm going to show you the actual real multiples. It's more 4 and 5, right? But I'll talk about it later on. 10K MRR SaaS, 10K times 12 times 1.5, that's almost 200K. And if you reach 40K MRR and even beyond, right, you can get 4 to 5x multiple, so that's a $2.4 million SaaS, okay? That's the math. This is getting you excited to get into SaaS. And you won't get any of this in any other business, right? Dropshipping won't get you this. Agencies won't get you this, right? Because with SaaS, you have recurring revenue. It's the you can search this. It's the business type that has the highest valuations. And for a reason that is because profit margins are usually very high and there's predictable revenue at the end of each month because it's recurring revenue. Okay. Now you might be asking yourself, so yeah, that's cool, but where do I find these 20 people? And first, before all that, we need to look at the 4-step blueprint, this stuff right here. Okay. So we need to look at the 4-step blueprint first. I want to go over each one of these steps, and I promise you this will be boring, but I mean, if you want to succeed in business, succeed in life, you got to go through the boring stuff and actually implement the stuff that works. Because if this were like simple, fun, and easy, everyone would do it. Okay, so let's dive in. First things first is avoiding terrible SaaS ideas and landing on one that's guaranteed to work. So not building stuff like this. And so what you got to understand is that ideation is quite simple. You don't need to overcomplicate this, right? Ideas are pointless. It's all about execution. I know this is super cliche, but cliches are cliches for a reason because they're true, right? Ideas are pointless. It's all about execution. So the idea you have now, right? Let's say you have this amazing idea in your head, right? Will change and morph into something different when you start getting customers. So don't be attached to the idea. Now, how do I do it? How do I come up with ideas? It's super simple. That's the only thing you need to do is you copy something that's working and make it niche. And these two sets right here, these and these ones that I showed you before, right? The one I grew and sold and the one I'm growing right now, both of these ideas already existed. And they were literally billion-dollar companies, right? Fiverr and Upwork, right, are two publicly traded billion-dollar companies, literally. And I just built a niche-down version of them, right? Jasper is a billion-dollar company too, and I just built a niche-down version of it. So I just copied the idea and niche down. So don't look for new ideas. Don't try to build the next Uber. Don't try to build the next Facebook. See what's working on certain niches and niche it down or niche it to a different language, okay? Let's say, for example, you find something that's working very well in the States, in USA. You go out and you implement this in your country, in Portugal, in Spain, right, in Italy, right? You can niche down for a language, but you can also niche down for niche. For example, let's say there's this big CRM that works for every niche of business, right? Then you find one that works and you build one that works just for lawyers or just for plastic surgeons or just for dentists that do XYZ, okay? So super simple. Don't overcomplicate this, okay? Just niche down. Now, second step, how do you build your SaaS without knowing how to code and $0? So this is you right now. You don't know how to code. You have no idea what you're doing. Me too, right? Till this day, I've built these two software businesses, sold one, building this one right now, and I have no idea how to code. I have no idea how to write a single line of code. And so how do you do it? How do you start with 0? So you have two options, right? You either learn to code and do it yourself, which is slow and not very smart, to be honest, or you partner up with a developer, which is fast and smart, right? That's what I did right here. Now, who and where do you find these people? And so again, a lot of people tell you don't need to outsource, pay someone to do it for you. That's not smart, right? So let's say, for example, you would not listen to me and you would like try to outsource it, try to go with an agency, try to outsource, try to find someone on a marketplace, Fiverr, Upwork, or hire an agency to build out the software for you. Now, in theory, it sounds amazing, right? Because you just hire someone to do all the work for you, right? It's brilliant. However, the issue is your goal is to spend $0. You don't want to spend any money. Like I said before, you want to build your SaaS without knowing how to code and with $0. And so how do you do it if you're outsourcing it for an agency or for a freelancer? Well, you don't. And even if you were to, there are issues, right? The issues that come with hiring freelancer or an agency. What if the Upwork or Fiverr freelancer isn't that good? And what if the freelancer, maybe it's amazing, but then they leave you in a year? How are you going to replace them? They're going all in, they're going away with all the knowledge. So there's a lot of issues when it comes to hiring a freelancer or outsourcing the work, which is why I don't do it. But equally, I don't want to code. So what do I do, right? I don't want to code. I don't want to learn either. So what do I do? If I don't hire people, right, what do I do? Simply, like I said before, I do partnerships. And partnerships mean skin in the game. So I partner up with a developer and they give them equity. Simple. So zero money down because, you're giving them equity instead of money, right? They're locked into the project so they cannot just leave. Like, for example, a freelancer or an agency, if they were to leave you after a year, right? You'd be stuck with all this code. You have no idea what to do. You'd be like stuck and you'd have to find another developer. It's a lot, right? It's painful. I've done that mistake. It's very painful. And your chances of success are higher because you're partnering up with someone that has vested interest into making this work. And also remember that 50% of a SaaS worth $10 million, it's much better than 100% of a SaaS worth 10K. So the best solution is to partner up with a developer. Pretty simple. Now, you might be asking, okay, so that's good. Where do I find these people? Where do I find the developers? Well, simple. Partners can be found literally anywhere. For my first ever software company, I started with Facebook groups, didn't really work. I went to Reddit, I went to Upwork, didn't really work, right? This sort of worked, opened a couple of doors, spoke with a couple of people, right? But eventually I went with a friend of a friend. But I went through all these, and I found quality people here and here too. And so I went to all these places. For my second one, I didn't go to Facebook groups. I didn't go to I just went to a friend right off the bat. Okay, there's reasons for that, but I don't want to make this video super long. But you can ask down below in the comments. We record a video on this specifically on how to find a co-founder, and I'll do it. But again, what I wanted you to take away from this is that partners can be found anywhere. That's the most simple thing I want to go over. And so to this day, how much money was spent? $0. And now you have a great idea and someone who can build it, right? So you spent $0, have this amazing idea, and someone that's a co-founder that has vested interest in making this work and building up your SaaS, right? Now, the third step is avoiding wasting time and money by selling your SaaS before you build it. So usually people do this the other way around. So they usually build a SaaS and then they sell it. Now, what I want you to do is to first sell, and after you have some market validation, after people actually give you money, right? Then you say, okay, now I'm going to go and build it. Because if you do it the other way around, you're going to be wasting a lot of time. And I'll go over an example on how I did that mistake here right now. So building and launching your MVP. MVP stands for minimum viable product, okay? And so here's the first iteration of our current SaaS. This, right? It is awful, right? It's ugly. You click generate and we'd send the info to your email. Like it was awful. Right? All of it was our logo awful. No, not pages, not anything. It was awful. But this is exactly what an MVP is: a minimum viable product, a product that does what it needs to do in its minimum viable state. Right now, here's an example of what I mean by selling. And I want to give you here another example for this. But before, I want to go over how I sold 7K's worth of a SaaS without an existing product. We had this landing page, and this product did not exist. So what we did was we just created a landing page for this SaaS that we had an idea for, which is basically a online directory. So people would pay us a monthly fee, and we'd create them an online directory, right? And so we just had this page. We had a video right here of me going over what the software was going to be, right? I was like, listen, guys, if you buy this lifetime deal, because we were offering a lifetime deal to get people on, you'll be able to build directories online with XYZ features. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be super great, right? And we sold them on the idea and what they would be able to do, right? And then to lock them in, we offer them a lifetime deal, right? And we sold almost 8K's worth of this, right? And only when we had like 5K worth of purchases did we went out and build the software. So in that letter that I showed you early, right, we sold first and then we built it, right? Because if we were to have built it first, right, imagine we built this whole thing out, right? And then 6 months from now, we said, okay, hey guys, we have this amazing product. Who wants to buy it? What's going to happen is that most likely people will not want to buy it, okay? Because you're going to spend a lot of time building features that you think people want when in reality they do not want them. And here's an example of exactly how I made that mistake. So with my very first software business, I did this mistake. I want to give you an analogy to explain this properly. So let's say you have this grand idea of your SaaS. Let's say your idea is this amazing building. Trust, this is an analogy, by the way. This amazing building with floor-to-ceiling windows, right? All glass, amazing big windows, this huge entrance door, right? And there's even a helipad on top where helicopters can land, right? This is your amazing SaaS idea. There's even a slide, right? People can like go down the slide, right? The building is covered in gold, right? It's this amazing idea you have in your mind. This is what you have in your brain. You want to put it up to people to buy it. And this is what I did, right? I had this idea in my mind and I built it all. I spent 12 months almost building this idea, this amazing building with all these features that I thought customers would want. And finally, when my hotel opened, my SaaS was released to the market, there was a bunch of stuff we'd been working on that people didn't actually care for. And so what you need to do is you need to build a MVP. So for this case in specific, you'd build a mud hut, right? A hut made out of mud with a door, right? And this mud hut serves the same purpose as this gold-plated hotel with a slide and helipad and floor-to-ceiling windows, because both of these, right, serve shelter to people. So people can go here and take shelter, but then they can also go here and take shelter, right? So you're building the exact same thing, right? Just a dumbed-down version of it. And when people start coming in, a lot of people start coming in, they're going to tell you, listen, I don't really like this. Like, there's no windows. Okay, so then you build the windows, right? And then they say, but there's no door. So then you build a door. And then a lot more people start coming in and they say, yeah, but we don't all fit here. So then you add other floors, more floors, more floors. And then people say, but this is made out of mud. When it rains, the whole building falls down. So then maybe you make it out of concrete, right? Then you go towards the vision you had at the beginning, but you don't start building out the vision, because again, you're going to spend a lot of time doing it. For this SaaS right here, we spent almost 12 months building the idea. I said to the guy, listen, add this, add that, add consulting calls, add a lot of stuff. And these were ideas that I thought people would want. And turns out when we released it, people didn't really care for them, right? At least not in the beginning. So we spent a ton of time building out this amazing gold-plated building when we should have just built an MVP, a shitty mud hut that served the same purpose of this grand hotel, and then we'd iterate based on customer feedback, which is, again, of course, what we did with our second SaaS. This is awful. It doesn't look like this at all right now, but we started with the mud hut. This is the mud hut, right? So two things to take into consideration here, Start with the mud hut, right? Or if you don't even want to build an MVP or with a mud hut, you just do this, right? Sell before you build. Just build a landing page with a lifetime deal and drive traffic there and sell them on the idea. And once you have certain validation in terms of money, then you go out and build the idea, okay? If you want the video on this, I have it. I'll link it down below in the description. So after that, right? What about marketing? How do you actually drive traffic to either to here or to the actual business, right? Well, the issue with marketing is that there's infinite things you can do, literally, right? There's infinite things. You can go out and give out flyers on the street. You can do Facebook ads. You can do Instagram Reels. You can do YouTube videos, Twitter, TikTok, Pinterest, email marketing, LinkedIn. There's infinite things you can do. And that's the main issue with marketing where people get caught up because, there's too much. They get overwhelmed, which is fair enough, right? And so what I do and what I recommend you do is you focus on all, right? You focus on all, you try every single one of them, and then you just double down on what works. For example, for my first SaaS, I tried Facebook groups, I tried Twitter, Reddit, LinkedIn, I tried them all, right? TikTok sort of work, I guess, yes, TikTok sort of work, Reddit did not work at all, LinkedIn did not work at all, Facebook groups sort of work, right? Twitter sort of work, actually not really, and then so we just double down on this, and this, right? But we tried everything because we need to look for where your customers are at. So you need to try everything, okay? For my second SaaS, I tried cold email, sort of work. I tried ads, didn't work just yet. I tried LinkedIn, didn't work. Twitter, sort of. YouTube worked very well, so we just doubled down on YouTube. TikTok didn't really work at all, right? And it will depend, right? If your SaaS is B2B, which is business to business, or B2C, right? It will depend, right? Depending on your niche. Because, for example, if you're building a CRM for doctors, maybe ads will work better. Maybe cold email will work better, right? If you're building a B2C SaaS that does XYZ, for example, Duolingo or Grammarly or Netflix or Dropbox, whatever, right? Maybe YouTube ads will work better. I don't know, but it depends. My point here is that you need to test every single thing, see what works for your niche in specific, and then just double down on what works. Super simple. Don't overcomplicate this, okay? Now, what if you don't want to market? Should you hire an outsourcer just like you did with a developer? Well, it could be a great idea to just hire an agency to do all the marketing for you since you're not a skilled marketer. However, right, the problem is you might hire an agency that you become too reliant upon. So you don't really know what they're doing. And then when they leave, because eventually they leave, right, your business goes from great to non-existent. So the best way to handle marketing, right, to bring in customers to your SaaS, right, isn't to go, I need to become the best marketer in the world. It's not that. It's to learn what kind of marketing works for your business, right, by trying every single thing, right, first, right, and then get a handle of it for yourself and then hand over the reins to someone else. So understanding first, right, understanding what works, what traffic source is the best for your business, and then hand it over to someone else. For example, we right now, TikTok is sort of working for us. So we made these processes and then hand it out to an agency, right? Ads, we're starting to do that. So we're trying them ourselves. We're seeing what works, what doesn't, and then we assign them to an agency. But first, you need to know how things work yourself. And you need to lay out down your process because no agency will care as much as you do about your business, okay? So that's how you do marketing. That's why you should not outsource it, at least at the beginning. This is a repeat slide, so forget about this. And so that's it. That's the blueprint. So no coding, no marketing, no money. I did it. You can do it too. So now, before I mention how much money you can make, this is all fun and games, but again, you want actual tangible strategies on how to find 20 people. So how do we actually find 20 people when there's infinite ways? I want to go over a tangible strategy you can follow, okay, down here. But there's, of course, free lead sources, YouTube, LinkedIn, Reddit, all social media platforms, SEO, affiliates, there's paid traffic sources. Now, I'll go over one because I don't have time to go over all of them, but I'll leave a link in the description for 3 different videos where they go over different strategies to get leads for your SaaS. Honestly, way more than 20 people. So I'll leave them down below for free, so go watch them if you want more strategies. But I want to go over just one, which is the YouTube method, which is quite simple. It's just how I grew these businesses, right? The very first one, SaaS I grew, was Facebook and YouTube, right? The second one was YouTube, and this one we sold almost 8K's worth of. The one that I showed before was just Twitter, right? The one we sold before we built, okay? Now, here's the YouTube funnel. It's quite simple, right? Let's say you do 10 videos a month. Super simple, super easy, right? Maybe you do videos recording, going over your future features, or maybe you have already features, so you go over your features. Whatever, you do marketing videos. Again, if you want a bit more in-depth training on this, I'll leave it down below in the description. Let's say, for example, you get 200 views per video, right? That's 2K views per month. Let's say out of those 2,000 people, only 10% of viewers actually go and click your site. So 1,990 people, 1,900 people, 1,800 people go out the window, right? They don't really care. They click on your video, but they don't really care and click on your site. So 200 people click on your site. Let's say out of those 200 people, right, only 5% go up and create a free account on your SaaS website. So 190 just click on your site and just, it's awful, just go away, right? These are awful numbers, by the way. So you get 10 people's emails, right? Let's say out of those 10 people that try the product, only one becomes a client. So 9 of them just don't really like your product. It's awful for them. Only one buys it. Again, these are awful conversion rates, right? You get one client just with 10 visits a month, right? And these are super small numbers. And how do I know this works? Because again, I've done it. I did it for this one, did it for this one. This one's with Twitter, but it's more or less the same thing. Just make noise. Again, if you want more in-depth training on this, I'll link it down below in the description. But it's basically it. Super simple. Keep it simple, okay? Again, think about the money. And here's more realistic numbers. So this is a screenshot from acquire.com. This is a marketplace where you can list your SaaSes for sale. These are the confirmed profit multiples for SaaS sales. So in 2022, right, if you listed a SaaS company for sale on this marketplace, usually buyers would give you a multiple or 5.4 the ARR. And in 2023, 4.3. So this means, right, if you do an average of 4, right, let's say you have a 10K MRR SaaS, right, 10K times 12 months times a 4x multiple, that's almost $500,000, right? Even if you just 5K MRR, which is again, 20 clients or 40 clients paying you $49 a month. It's super simple. 5K times 12 times 4, that's $240,000 worth of a business. Again, confirmed profit multiples. People actually pay this, again, because it's not SMMA, it's not dropshipping, it's not agency, it is a SaaS, software as a service with recurring revenue. That's why SaaS is amazing, right? Hopefully by now I convinced you to start, I convinced you to find 20 people to pay just $49 a month, and you'll have a SaaS doing 1K a month, which is worth a minimum of 12K. Ideally, you're gonna jump towards these levels right here where the real money is. So hopefully I've convinced you to start. Again, if you already have a SaaS, right, what I went over here should also give you a couple more clients. If you're just starting out with SaaS, all this hopefully will get you going, get you from idea to actual product, right? And start your journey in SaaS. Okay, so now that the intro part is out of the way, I want to speak about coming up with the idea for your SaaS, then taking that idea and validating it into the market, okay? And finally, how you should be selling your SaaS idea before you actually build it. So this first module is super important. I can stress enough how you should watch. You should watch the whole course, but this module is super, super important. So again, I want to go over how you can come up with the idea, the best type of ideas you can come up with, then how to validate your idea, so take your idea to market, and then how to take it to the actual market, or how to leverage the market for it by first selling the idea before you build it. So let's break it down. Welcome. So first things first is I lied. I'm not going to give you SaaS ideas because that's stupid. I'm going to give you the thought process behind you having to come up with an idea, which is far more valuable. So let's break it down. So the best SaaS ideas that will make you a millionaire if you can execute. Okay. So what do I mean by this? Let me give you an example, right? Let me give you the example of this factory, right? We have this factory that produces, right, tires, right? This is a factory that produces tires, okay? We produce tires. And now the whole assembly process starts with a station where we take the rubber out of somewhere. Actually, we receive the rubber, right? We receive the rubber from wherever, right? And then we take the rubber, right? And we refine it to have refined rubber, okay? And then next step is we take the refined rubber and we molded it into sort of a tire form. Then we take that sort of tire form and we make it harder or softer depending on the car we want it to fit, right? We kind of have a tire by this point, and then we finally have our amazing tire that we can go out and sell to our customers, okay? This is what the factory looks like. And trust me, it's all gonna make sense, right? This is our tire factory, right? Now, the way in which you come up with SaaS ideas that actually will make you money is by going into pain points and optimizing those pain points. Now, what do I mean by this in specific, right? Your goal here should be not creating a SaaS for optimizing the refining of the rubber, not for optimizing the molding, not for optimizing the, I don't know what this step was, not for optimizing these steps, right? But you should go for the in-between steps, these right here, because you're going to optimize for inefficiencies here. And this is an example for, I don't know, a tire factory, but this applies to maybe CRM for dentists. I don't know. You get my point, right? You want to optimize for these little issues right here, right? Let me give you another example to make this even sound more interesting. Our current SaaS, for example, is a content marketing SaaS that with AI leverages AI to increase the speed at which businesses can produce content for their blog online. Okay. Now, previously, right, they used to have to go up the stairs, right, step by step. They used to have to do the keyword research to figure out, okay, what do I want to write content about? Then they used to have to write the blog posts. Then once they have the big wall of text on the blog post, right, they will have to add images, right? But they have to source the images then to go add them to the articles. Same thing for videos, right? Source the videos on YouTube and see, okay, which video do I want to add to this article? Add the video to the article, right? And then internal links. So they've produced other articles in the past, right? And they want to make sure this new article links to those other articles in a way that makes sense. External links, so linking out to other authority sources in the niche. Then actually publishing, then actually syndicated into social media, right? All this took so many steps, right? And they had to do it manually one by one. Now with AI, and again, we're leveraging AI. Your startup or your SaaS story doesn't need to be with AI. But it's a good technology to build on top of it because it's quite popular and people love it. And in fact, it is a great technology, right? With AI, now what our SaaS allows them to do is they just get to skip ahead of the line, right? Because we do all of these steps for them. So they reach the same spot, right? They reach the goal here, but with AI, they go much faster, right? And so what we optimized for here wasn't necessarily to make a better article, right? We're not optimizing to make the refinery better of the rubber. We are optimizing to make the process, right, that goes from A to B, B to C, C to D, D to E, right, the stairs, right? We're optimizing the processes in between to make them go faster to the end goal, which is money, right? I guess it's all now making sense, right? Again, it's the same thing. The stair analogy is the same thing as the factory analogy, right? We're optimizing the in-between steps. We automate the content writing, right? We then automate the image placing in the article. Then we automate the links, internal and external. Then we automate the videos. We automate all the steps, posting, keyword research, all of it for them, right? So again, we're not making a better article necessarily. We're not like optimizing the end goal. We're not optimizing the end points or the middle points. We're optimizing for the middle points where there is traction and where there can be some improvements, right? So now when you're thinking about a software that you want to build, think about a pain point that exists when a business is taking something from A to B, right? And don't try to better the B, try to better the steps in between, right? That take it from A to B. And I really wanted to explain this because if I just gave you some SaaS ideas, I mean, if you want SaaS ideas, just go to ChatGPT, right? Just, I don't know, Google it. It's best SaaS ideas of 2024. But that's dumb. I mean, maybe, I don't know. But I think that's a bad way to figure out and find SaaS ideas. Because a SaaS idea isn't just a SaaS idea, right? It comes from a actual pain point and an inefficiency in the market that with your software you go out and solve, right? You have to solve an issue, otherwise people won't pay you any money. Now, execute is a big word here because I could give you all my SaaS ideas I have in my brain based on this analogy right here, but most of you will not execute. Now, I still will not give them out because I'm afraid some of you will, but it's the most important thing, honestly. In business and life, right, you have all these ideas. Maybe you had the idea for Uber before Uber existed, but you did not execute, right? And so execution plays a big part in it, of course. And also, of course, you have to have the resources to execute. So you have to have know-how, you have to have money, you have to have some things which hopefully this channel helps you achieve, right? The knowledge to start one, to build on, to market one, and to eventually sell one. That's my goal with this channel. So yeah, this is the best way to come up with SaaS ideas. Let me know if you like this analogy. Let me know if this even made sense. Comment down below if you have any questions or if you want me to record, or if you have any ideas or videos you want me to record topics on, all related with SaaS. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers. Welcome everyone. So I want to go over, I think, the single biggest thing about software or SaaS, which is idea validation, right? How do you know if people are willing to pay you or to give you money for your product before you actually build your product? So idea validation. And someone of you guys asked in the comments, you wanted to see a video on this. So I am your slave, so I do anything you want me to do videos on. So here's how to actually validate your SaaS idea step by step. Again, a boring video here ahead of us, but 100,000% worth it because this is how you make money, is through the boring stuff. So how to validate your idea so you don't waste time and money. Now, the thing behind this, the reason why you need to validate is because you need to sell, right, before you build, right? A lot of people build and then go out and sell, and this means they're building something that they think the market wants, but at the end of the day, the market will not want what you think they want, and you're going to be spending time and money building something that in your head you think they want, but they don't want, right? So what you have to do is you build first instead of you sell first and then you build, okay? So first try to validate your idea, try to sell to people, okay, I'm gonna be building this and that with all this cool stuff that solves this problem. Do you wanna buy it, right? Do you wanna commit to buying it in the future? They might say, yeah, maybe, okay, but that's the whole premise of this, right? Again, I did a mistake of building before I sold with my first software company, and hopefully by watching these videos you don't make the same mistake. So there's kind of two ways of validating your idea. First is through personal validation. I did this in my first software company. It's my best idea. Why? Because again, I thought, okay, because my first software, by the way, was a marketplace, right? A two-sided marketplace like Airbnb, but for services in a specific niche. And I was working on marketplaces before, right? I used to work and sell services on there. And I had a lot of pain points, right? Mainly transparency, right? Marketplaces were not very transparent. I never knew who was behind the other door, like who was I buying services from, right? I didn't have access to samples, so I didn't know what I was buying beforehand. So I wanted to build something that, where the main value proposition was, okay, I want a marketplace where I know what I'm buying constantly, have samples to see, right? And from who I'm buying it from. So every single vendor will have to show their face. So that was my premise to starting my software company. And so that was my personal validation based on an issue I had myself personally. I had no idea if other people had this issue or if they even cared about this issue, right? And this is dangerous, right? Because I'm doing a personal validation, meaning it is a issue one person has, which is me. Now, more people might have it, but I mean, more people might not have it, right? So doing personal validation isn't the best idea. Again, personal validation is going off of your own pain points, but you still want to make sure that the market has the same pain points. But because it can happen that these pain points, the things that you suffer with, that you're looking for a solution for, are only like things you suffer from. Or maybe other people suffer from them, but they're not willing to pay for it, okay? So just know that this is not the best idea, so don't do this. Now, the best version is to do potential customer validation. So customer validation, I say potential because you don't know if they're going to be customers or not, right? This is the best way to do it, right? Because you go out, right, to people, to potential customers, so people you think are your potential customers based on what your product is, right? What the pain point your product solves. For example, let's say you have a CRM for plastic surgeons, right? You go out to all the plastic surgeons you know in your country, every single one of them, and ask them, listen, I built this, or I'm going to build this software that does X, Y, and Z. It is a CRM tailored, where you can put all your appointments and all that, blah, blah, doesn't really matter. Do you want to buy it, right? Do you have interest in it, right? Or what's your current pain point with the CRM you currently use, right? And then you can extrapolate from there and say, okay, now you're doing potential customer validation, right? You're going out to the people that have the pain point you think the market has and talking to them. And what's going to happen is that they might have the pain point you're targeting, but they're going to have some, right? And they're going to give you feedback, and you're going to enter what's called a feedback loop, right? And you're going to iterate and improve your idea and eventually the product you're going to build based on real customer, based on real potential customer. So that's why this is the best thing to go for. Go for potential customer validation, right? It's the best thing. Don't just say in your head, don't just say in your home, like coding or building. That's very dumb. Not a good idea. Now, how do you actually validate it? Well, it is simple. Just go ask people. Now, anything in life and in software and anything, it is super simple, right? And I can explain this to you and you can clearly understand what I mean. The hard part, again, this is super cliche, but it's simple, not easy, right? Here's some actionable strategies you can use, to actually go ask people. First, for example, use Reddit, right? Make a post asking, hey guys, I built this. If I built this, would you buy it? How much would you pay? And this is the same thing, right, as going out and actually calling doctors, calling plastic surgeons, calling plumbers, I don't know, going out to the market, right? You can use Reddit if you are afraid to do cold calls, if you don't want to meet people, right? Or maybe your target customers you think are on Reddit, right? Because, for example, plastic surgeons or plumbers or whatever don't hang out on Reddit. But but your potential customer for your SaaS might hang out on Reddit. So yeah, you go on Reddit, right? You go where your customer is. You go where you think your customer base is, right? Maybe it's a Facebook group. Maybe it's, I don't know, Pinterest boards. Maybe it's TikTok, right? We don't know, right? You know better than I do, right? You know what your SaaS idea is, and by now you should have an idea of the issue you're solving and from who, like for your ICP, your ideal customer profile, okay? So, for example, go on Reddit. You actually go ask people, right? It's a pain in the ass, but it's super cool because you ask people, you get feedback, you get new ideas to improve the product. It's one of the coolest things about SaaS when you're building it. It's the starting process. So yeah, simple one. Now, Twitter. I'll record a video solely on this, on the building in public. With Twitter, if you build in public, which I'll go over exactly what it is in just a second here, it is a great way to build a small audience you can use or leverage, right, to validate your idea. Now, building in public is simply documenting the process of what you're doing. this is what I did with my first software business, right? I documented the whole process. I did daily TikToks. I did YouTube videos. I tweeted every single day saying, listen, I'm building this. 0 likes, 0 views, nothing, no engagement. But on the second post, 1 like. On the third post, 1 like. On the fourth post, 2 likes. On the fifth post, 10 likes. On the 1,000th post, okay, 100 likes. So you gotta know that everyone starts from 0. Everyone starts from 0. I started from 0, right? I'm not different from you. We're the same. I'm not smarter than you. I'm not more intelligent. We are the same, right? And I started from 0 with this, with the building in public, with, hey guys, I'm doing this, speaking to the void. Nobody cared, right? But eventually you can climb up the ladder slowly and 2 people care, right? And suddenly 10 people care, and then 100 people care, and then thousands of people care, right? And again, it's a great way to actually validate your idea, because when you're building in public, people like that. People like to see people building things and making money. They just like it, okay? And so people are going to start giving you ideas and recommending you to other people. And this like flywheel effect is created that eventually you start to get some feedback and you start to be able to validate your idea faster. This is more or less what we did with our second SaaS as well, okay? These are only 4 tangible tips. There's many more, but hopefully these ones will be enough. Other one, ask friends, right? Don't have any friends, go make some. You need people to ask, right? If you think based on your ICP, based on your ideal customer profile, which is the person you're going to be selling your software to, the person that has a problem or an issue that your software sells, person or business, right? And if you think you have some friends, family that fill in and that are this ICP, this ideal customer profile, just go ask them. Hey, listen, mom, dad, whatever, friend, would you pay for this? And they tell you, maybe if you add this. Okay, I'm going to add this. And then ask another one, would you pay for this? Maybe, but you have this, but I prefer it if you do it like that. You do it like that. You improve based on potential customer feedback, right? Super simple. The final one is, of course, build a shitty MVP and reach out to who you think your potential customer is via cold email or DM. So for cold outreach, so for actively reaching out to these people via email or DMs, I think, I might be wrong, right? But one of the best ways you can do it is to either build a shitty working product and email people saying, listen, I know you are this person that has this pain point. I build a software that solves that pain point. Here's a demo, maybe a Loom video. Maybe you don't even have to build an MVP. Just do some mockups in Figma, right, with a UI, right, and record the video going over what the issue that you're solving is and how your product looks like. I did this actually for one of the softwares that I wanted to start for like a month, which of course then I didn't went through because the issue we were solving wasn't the issue that people were willing to pay. But what I did was I just went on Figma, right? I built all the screen, oh no, not all, but like 2 or 3 screens on Figma of how the product will look like. It was like a CRM for service-based agencies, right, where they could deliver files to their clients. I actually built this. If I find it, I'll add a screenshot here. If I don't, I won't. But where they could submit videos and works. And I did that on Figma. And I made it look real. I made it, when I recorded the Loom video, I made it look like, okay, I can click here, I can go here. This is what the software does. This is me speaking via the cold email that I sent with the Loom video or DMs to the people, right? And I got some feedback, not good enough, so I just scrapped the idea, right? But this works too, right? Instead of building an MVP, just build some Figma files and UI screenshots, and then reach out to people, because it's way easier to get a reply when you have something to show for, right? If you just have the idea in mind, the replies you might get are you don't necessarily get less replies, but the replies you get, the substance of the reply isn't as good as if you have something tangible that people can actually see and visualize themselves using. Right, so we're inside, let's break it down. How I made over $7,000 without having a product. Here's a screenshot from Stripe. That's over $7,000 in just a few weeks, $7,424 to be exact, for this product that did not exist. Now, what does this mean? Right, and I'll go over 2 examples right here, Rolex and Tesla, but it's all about the concepts of waiting lists. And this seems simple, and anyone can understand this. It's simple, in fact, but it's not easy to pull off, right? And what does this mean? Basically, to put it short and to cut a long video short, is you have to sell before you build, right? Sell your product, get money in, and then build after, right? So you get the money first, and only when you have the money do you go out and build. Why? Because you only build once you have validated the idea, right? Because it's dumb to spend all of this time, like months or years, building a product and then releasing it to market, because you don't know what people want and if people will actually want it. This is exactly what Tesla and Rolex are doing. For example, Tesla, when they came out with a Cybertruck, the Cybertruck, everyone knows it. What they did was you could join a list, not a waiting list in this case, actually a waiting list as well. And if you paid, I think was a deposit of $200, right? You could join the waiting list, right? And what was this for, right? It was a way for Tesla, to know the market interest in their new product, right? They had hundreds of people or thousands of people buying, buying the initial offer for $200, right? And most likely internally they had a threshold. If we get more than X people buying it, we'll go out to production, right? If we have like less than a number, we'll just maybe delay production a bit more, right? But again, they validate the idea, right, by asking for money first. They built out this MVP, which in this case was a couple of renders, or the car, or maybe I think they even have like an actual car. Just one, right? They build one, really, really shitty. They have a couple of cool renders. They do a couple of marketing to sell you the product before they build it, right? They only got into production, I'm not sure the numbers, but a lot of months later, or actually a year later after people went down with the deposit. I think once you put down the deposit, it tell you on the site that, okay, you put down the deposit today, the production starts in a year from now, you get your car 2 years from now. I think that was the thing, right? But again, it's all about the concept of waiting lists. You pay them, so that they can validate if the market wants their idea. And if the market wants, and the market tells you that by giving you money, then you go out and build it. Rolex is the same thing, right? They have a waiting list. And according to several sources, generally it takes around 6 months to buy a Rolex. So there's a waiting list, right? There's a waiting list. So people join the waiting list. Let's say a new Rolex comes out, right? A new watch comes out. People join the waiting list, and that's a way for Rolex to know, okay, how many people are interested in this watch? What's the market sentiment for this new product we've released? That applies to physical products like Rolex and Tesla, so cars and watches, and also applies to software. What we did here was the exact same thing, right? We had this idea of what we wanted to build. We did some like mock-ups in Figma, so like how the software would look like. We did some basic stuff. We had like a shitty landing page of what software would be and the pain point that software would solve, right? And we marketed that as the product. And what we did was, in specific, we created a waiting list where people could pay us. If I'm not mistaken, it was $199, I think, not too sure, for access to the product. In this case, we did an LTD, which was a lifetime deal, right? And again, it is the LTD, which is a lifetime deal, is just a way to get people into the software, because again, they're getting the software for life for just $200. But again, it's a way for us to catch the market sentiment. Because imagine, we had built this software, right? We spent like 6 months, 12 months building it, amazing with all these features, and then finally, after 12 months, we put it out in the market, and nobody buys it. Well, we've just spent 12 months wasted, right? Or a less worse factor, which was the issue I made in my previous software, a marketplace, was I actually spent 12 months building the marketplace. And I put all these features in that I thought people would love, that I think that I would like as well. And after 12 months of working and spending money, investing time and money, we were making $0, right? Because we were building the product. We were building before selling. We're doing the other way around, which is dumb, right? You want to go for this way. You don't want to go for this way. And again, I spent a lot of time doing it, 12 months actually or more. And finally, I came up with a product. Okay, some people enjoy it, some people use it, but a ton of features that I thought people would like to use, people didn't use. So I spent money and time building this product in a way that I thought would work. And then when I got it out to the market sentiment told me, no, we don't want this. We want something else. And that's the exact same thing here. Again, you have to sell before you build. And I know this sounds contradictory, and a lot of people don't do this because you feel, but I need to have a product, right? Why would people send you money? But you could just have an MVP, have a shitty product, have a landing page telling people what your product does, right? Just have a landing page. Again, Tesla has just a landing page telling, listen, pay us $200, we'll give you a car in 2 years, right? It's insane. The lead time is insane. And you can do the same, right? Have a landing page and tell people just exactly what we did, right? I'm going to find here our actual landing page, which was nichebase.co, which was the page that we sent people to buy our product. Again, the product did not exist. We just sent people here. And of course, since then, because we've discontinued the product, we've refunded everyone. We don't keep people's money because there's no product, right? This was the landing page. Literally, this was it. Actually, it was $99. This was the shitty landing page. Create a profitable online directory. Go live in minutes and start collecting payments with the directory website, right? Give us your email to preview a demo. The demo was just a shitty Loom video, I think. And there's a logo here. There's me and my co-founder. And then people just click here. They went to Stripe and they bought it. That's literally it. This is literally the landing page. It was a shitty landing page. That's it. There's no software. Nothing was built. And only I think when we reached like 5K or 3K did we actually start building this shitty MVP. But again, it took us like $5,000 to actually, for us to validate the market sentiment and actually start building something. Again, I know this is very contradictory and a lot of people won't do it. They'll try to build and then sell because they're afraid, but don't be afraid, right? If you have an idea in mind, go out and build a shitty landing page and ask people for money and tell them, listen, it's going to be ready in about 2 months, 3 months. I think we told them people that this would be ready in it launched in June, which was like 4 or 6 months ahead. So yeah, people don't really care, right? If they know who you are, they like it, trust you, they won't really care, okay? And if you're dealing with software, a lifetime deal like we did here is a great incentive because, I mean, they see the value in your product, and if they can get a lifetime deal because they're joining early, well, most likely a lot of people did join. So yeah, that's the whole concept. Again, that's what these two companies do, and surely a lot more other companies do as well. And again, it is easy to understand, actually simple to understand, and honestly easy to do, but a lot of people don't do it. A lot of people just go out and they build and then they sell, which was the issue I made at my first company, my software company. And thankfully in the other two I started so far, this one, which we eventually discontinued, and the new one, we've not done that. So yeah, that's it. That's the video. Thank you so much for watching. Go out and sell before you buy, before you build, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers. Right, hopefully that was valuable. So now I want to speak about email. And basically, email is a marketing strategy, but the good thing about email is that you own your audience, right? You're not relying on YouTube, on a Facebook group, on Twitter friends list, on, I don't know. You're not relying on a third party. You own the audience, right? You own the emails, right? So you can email people anytime you want, at least forever, right? Until, of course, they unsubscribe. So it's very important that since day one, you build an email list, and I want to go over how to build it, how to nurture the leads, how to speak with people, what to say, what not to say, and how to leverage email to make you a lot of money with SaaS, because email is one of the key pillars to making your SaaS succeed, right? Don't neglect it. Again, like the whole course, this module also is very important because SaaS is a multi-step business, right? And you cannot just do one thing. You need to do every single thing or multiple things well. And email is one of those things that you need to do, because if you don't, you're just going to be leaving a lot of money on the table. So yeah, let's break it down. Let's break down how email can help you out and grow your SaaS business. So let's go. Here's why email will make you rich, specifically in terms of software, in the software game, right? In the product that you're making. So in today's world, we are blasted. This is you right here. You're blasted in all directions with notifications from Facebook, right? Even, by the way, I just noticed that if you don't log into Facebook for like a month, they start blasting you with SMS as well. So not just the iPhone notifications, they blast you with SMS and emails. Instagram, WhatsApp, SMSs, emails from all sides, you're blasted with 100,000 notifications. You might know this, right? You might suffer from this. I think everyone does. However, there is one notification that most likely you check more often or a bit more in depth than all the others, which is email, right? People still use email to communicate back and forth for important stuff. People associate email with important stuff. If you get an email, most likely it is important. Of course, there's all this spam email in the world, but most of the times email is important. And you can leverage, I won't go over our specific email flow, but on our software, once a person opts in, right, they go to the homepage, they put in their email, they get a free trial. Our goal is to capture their email, and then we will send them emails until eternity, right? These are individual emails, right? We send them, right? Once they sign up, we send them a welcome email, right? Then we wait like 2 days, send them another email talking about why our product is great, right? Then we wait 2 more days, send them a call to action, a push to buy our product, right? We have this sequence, this welcoming sequence going, I think it's for like 30 days, right? And in every single one of these emails, it's a value email, sale, value email, sale. And of course, in these value emails where we don't directly pitch stuff, there's always a subtle call to action for them to go and buy our software, right? But again, this sequence goes for a month, right? They only stop getting the emails if they unsubscribe or when they reach the end. If they reach the end, they're added to another sequence where it's a bit more manual and they're nurtured in another way. But most people that go through this sequence eventually end up buying because they're nurtured, right? We email them, we present ourselves, we tell them who we are, what we do, why our software is great, right? And the thing is that a lot of our customers come from email or actually buy from email. We might have a ton of customers coming from YouTube, coming from Twitter, Facebook, whatever, right? We might have a bunch coming from there. and they do put in their email here, but most of them don't buy right off the bat, right? Most of them need to be nurtured and explained too. And email is such a powerful tool for that. Having an email sequence and having multiple email sequences dedicated to multiple people. And I think I have a video on this, right? SaaS email marketing, right? Where you need to segment the list because different people are in different journeys, right? If a user is paid, you want to get them. Actually, if a user is on a free plan, you want to get them to a paid plan. Sorry, if they're on a paid plan or a lower tier one, you want to get them to a higher tier one. I go over this segmentation in detail in this video. It's somewhere on my YouTube channel, but just the whole concept of leveraging email. And I see a ton of people, not a ton, but some that have softwares and hit me up and ask me for feedback. And I just dive straight into this, right? Because an email is super valuable, right? People disregard notifications, they disregard all this. But again, email is the one thing that they don't disregard, right? This is the only thing that they do check. And even if it's spam, right, they'll check it and put it in spam. But they will open it, right? Open rates are high in emails, right? And if you nurture people enough, and if you're nice enough, and if you know how to write persuasive copywriting, people will eventually buy from you. So email is one of the most powerful tools you can have in any business. So in this channel, I talk about SaaS, software as a service, but if you have a business that's cleans cars, whatever, or an e-commerce shop, right? And you notice this when you buy stuff online. As soon as you give a company your email, you're blasted with offers until the end of the time. Even if you want to subscribe, sometimes they sell your email to other people, and you're blasted with more offers. Sorry, I'm stumbling upon my words because I'm a bit late, but hopefully this is making sense, and hopefully you're getting some value out of this. My whole point with this is that if you have a business, do email, have a welcoming sequence where you nurture people, right? Where you go guide them through who you are, what you do, what your products are. Right, and if you're able to do this, as soon as they're on this welcoming sequence and they buy something from you, get them off the list, right? Because you don't want to be emailing people with a product that they already bought, right? So get them off the list. I use a software called MailerLite. It's pretty affordable. I love them. It's pretty cool. But yeah, email will make you rich in the sense that most of your conversions will come from email. All right, so I want to speak about the best SaaS email sequence you can build. SaaS stands for software as a service, by the way, which is extremely important. Okay, so if you have a software business, this applies mostly to software. If you have a physical product, might too, but yeah, this solely applies to SaaS. And what you want to do is once a user comes in, like to your website, right? Hopefully you're capturing their email with a free trial or whatever, right? You capture their email, right? And you have it on a database. You want to, these are emails, by the way. First thing you want to do is you want to send them a welcome email, right? They need to know that there's people behind the brand, right? There's real people working and building the product. So send them an intro email, right? Let's say this email copy right here. Send them a video telling them who you are. Hey, this is Vasco, whatever. Thank you so much for hopping on. We do this, and that. Maybe even go the extra mile to send them like a custom video, right? Upload it to YouTube with you like showing up on camera and telling them, listen, this is who I am, this is what we built, and thank you so much for trying it out. If you have any questions, email me, right? Then sign off with your signature, right? Super simple, but it goes a long way, right? Because you're creating this personal relationship, right? People know that when they're signing up to your software, that there's a human behind it, right? You start to build this connection, right? And because you're going to be sending more emails, right? The goal is not to just send one, it's to have a sequence. Because you're going to be sending more emails, they know that they will want to open your next email because they know it comes from you, from Vasco, right? They know that my next email, if they open my first one, they already have, and you're able to build trust and rapport with them, right? So, the whole goal of this, again, the whole goal of the business is to get them to spend money with you, right? And the whole goal of these emails is to create a relationship, to create rapport, trust, so that they buy your software. Because people coming in, right, these are all free users, right? They're trying out and testing your software. Your goal is to send them through this sequence, let's call it the welcome sequence of emails, to get them to buy stuff from you, right? And the reason why you're personal about it, you show your face, you tell them who you are, is again so you can build this personal relationships, right? Because at the end of the day, people buy from people, right? That's the main thing you need to know. People are going to buy from people, right? And the best way to show people, these people right here, that you are also a person, is to show your face and leverage your human-like skills, right? So what you have to do now, right? The whole goal of this sequence, right? This is a welcome sequence to convert these free users into paid customers, is to get them to convert, right? At the end of this sequence, right, there's a money sign they should be buying something, right? Now, these are just 4 emails, right? The whole goal is to have a bunch more. It's like this, have like a sequence that goes for 30 days, right? At least, right? And of course, if someone gets an email of these ones on a welcome email sequence and they buy, right? You get them off the sequence, right? You're not going to be sending them emails for something they already bought. So you get them on a new sequence, right? With some other new emails. Maybe, for example, they bought the base package. And so now, because they bought it, you get them to a sequence, which the whole goal is to get them to go from spending little money to spending big money with a higher tier package, if that makes sense, right? But now, the welcome sequence, right? The whole goal is to, if you're selling a software, make people understand what your software does and how and why it can be valuable to them. So these emails, like these emails that you're going to be seeing out over 30 days, like 15, 20 emails, are going to have to be value packed, right? Don't try and sell them hard, right? For example, the second email could be, for example, look at this case study these guys did using our software, right? If you want to do this, here's how they did it. Here's how you can do the same by using our software that does this, this, and that. Bam. And down here, a soft call to action. Don't like send them a video saying, listen, buy now, last chance, just grab this right now. Price is going to be increasing 200%. No, don't do that. That's stupid. Like, show them why the product is valuable and let them make the decision, right? Because people hate to be sold to, right? You got to sell them without them knowing they're being sold to. And the best way to do this is to actually show off, brag about your product, brag how other people using your product got these insane results, right? So a value email with a soft call to action at the bottom, so saying, you don't even have to do this, right? You could just show off the product, and that in itself is a call to action, right? But if you want to add a soft call to action at the end, like a PS, by the way, if you go for a yearly plan, it's 50% off, or PS, go here to buy a product, whatever, right? Soft, right? Then third one, like 2 days, spaces out 2 days in between, or 3 days. You don't want to be spamming people. Another value email, right? With all the features you have, right? What people can do with the features, sell yourself, right? Don't push them to buy your product, but sell your product, like show off why you're amazing, right? Again, show all of it with a soft call to action. Now, on the third email, because you send value, on this one, you could push a bit more for a sale, like for a high call to action, right? You can push a bit more, right? Because if they saw the value your product has, soft call to action, they saw the value again, soft call to action. Here you can like push for a stronger call to action. Again, don't do like 5 hours left, buy the product right now. Don't be scammy or spammy. Do it a bit less softer than these ones, but still make it a call to action, right? Then you just repeat this process: value, call to action, value, call to action for the course of 30 days, right? And of course, if people buy as people buy, right? Because people are going to receive these emails and they might buy. If they buy, you remove them from this sequence, because you don't want them, to be receiving these emails that don't apply to them, right? And this is like, I mean, it's simple, not easy, because you got to do the copywriting, you got to write the actual emails with persuasive copy, you got to set this all up, segment the list, set it all up. But at least if you have a software business, set up a welcome email sequence where you introduce yourself, say who you are, what you do, why it's great, then brag about your software, and with soft calls to action and a stronger, non too spammy call to action. And this is going to be printing for you like a lot of money, right? Because these people already gave you their email to try out the software. So it's dumb to not do any of this, right? You got to help them out figuring out the software, right? Help them out seeing what they can do with it while softly selling them the product. Super simple, right? Not easy to do, but super simple. And I talk about this, and I have a video on here, like I think going into a bit more detail about SaaS email marketing and segmentation. Go watch it. It's like somewhere on this YouTube channel. But yeah, go watch it, because this is what you can do to print a lot of money, and you should be doing, because if you're collecting these people's emails, right? An email is a valuable asset, right? Nowadays, and I think I mentioned this in my past video, right? People are blessed with like notifications all the time from YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, right? But an email is the one thing that they always go check at the end of the day, right? They always open their email. So super valuable. Build an email list and set up this welcome sequence so that people feel like they're building some connection with you, with your brand, and that there's humans behind the brand. Because remember, again, people buy from people. I'm going to go over exactly what you need to do if you have a SaaS in terms of email, because email and email marketing is one of the biggest drivers of sales to any business, really. And I want to go over exactly what we're doing and how we're doing it. So here's what you need to do. First things first is, let's say these are all your users right here. All users. These are all your users. And I'll go over all this in just a second here. But essentially, segmentation is something you need to do, right? So let me give you an example. So these are all your users, right? People that come in your software, right? These are free. These are paid, right? And these are on your mailing list, right? Now, these users can become paid users, right? These can become paid at any time, right? If you have even if you don't have a free version of your SaaS, maybe you have, for example, an option to capture these people emails on your homepage, which you should, right? So then you can retarget them with emails on the backend, right? Again, these users can become paid. Now, these paid users can go for a monthly plan. They can go for a yearly plan. That's a Y. And they can go for canceling. So they can cancel at any time, right? That's a Y. Now, all this is going to make sense in just a bit here. That's a Y, Jesus. Then from monthly, they can upgrade to yearly. Also from monthly, they can cancel their plan. And from a yearly plan, they can also cancel their yearly plan, right? So these are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 flows here, right? These are 7 basic flows you need to have, right? And these mean emails, right? Because you don't want to have the people that receive all your emails, the free people, the people that are not paid users. So these are just free, the free people, right? The ones that don't have paid you anything, to be receiving the same emails that the paid users are receiving, that the monthly users are receiving, that the yearly users are receiving, that the canceled users are receiving. Because each person, each one of these steps, you need to guide them and funnel them to different things, right? Your whole goal, the holy grail, is to drive every single one of these users, right, to the highest paying yearly package, right? You want them on a yearly package and you want them on the highest priced one, right? For example, the premium yearly package. Why? Because it costs the most money and locks them in for 12 months, which is what you want, right? But people on the monthly, you want to drive them to the yearly first, right? People on the yearly, you want to drive them to the highest yearly package. So there's 3 things you can do here. So monthly, let's say you have 3 packages, 1, 2, and 3. In each one of these, you want to drive them from monthly base to monthly advanced to monthly premium, right? The ones that are on premium, you want to drive them to the yearly 1, 2, 3, yearly base, right? The ones that are here, you want to drive them here. You want to drive them here. So this is, hopefully I'm getting my point across. Super, super important to segment your email list. And I'm going to go over exactly how you can do it. So let's say again, you have all your users, you have the subscribed users. Inside of the subscribed users, you have the monthly and yearly, right? And inside of the all users, you have the canceled users. You also want to set up flows for the canceled users, because our goal with the canceled users is to get them back, right? Get them back to subscribe. The all users, everything you want to do is email them. That's an email. Email them over and over and over again with your SaaS features, what you can do with it, how it makes you money, until they click one of these emails and become a subscribed user, right? Once they do, you get them off this list, because this list goes forever and ever and ever. This email sequence goes forever and ever until they either unsubscribe or buy something. Right? That's the only thing. That's the only option. Either they buy or they unsubscribe. And so your sole goal with this is, again, to email them forever until they go from all users or free users to subscribed users, right? Once they're here, whether here or here, your goal with the monthly users is to get them to the yearly subscription. Your goal with the yearly subscription is to get them on higher tiers, right? From here to here to here. Once you're here, you've achieved your goal, right? They're on the highest package for the yearly. But for the monthly users, you want to drive them from here to here, right? Everyone that's here, you want to drive them here. Everyone that's here, you want to drive them here, right? And everyone that's here, you want to drive them to the yearly packages. And this means that there needs to be individual email sequences for each one of these. For example, for the monthly users, you want to email them for weeks, months, telling them, listen, if you upgrade to yearly, you're going to save more money. Or if you upgrade from this package to this package, you get these are the features, same thing for yearly, right? If you upgrade from this one to this, you get more features, right? These mean like super detailed email sequences for each one of these. And this takes a lot of time, but having this segmentation and funneling the users through your maze, right? This is essentially a maze. If I don't know how to draw a maze, but this is a maze. You want to get them from point A to point B the most effective way. And the way we do this is to segment and tailor the emails to where these users are at in your funnel. Also, for canceled users, you want to have an email sequence as well that tells them, listen, come back, we've added this feature, we have added that feature. If they don't come back with those two emails, maybe send another one saying, listen, we'll give you a 50% discount. If they don't come back, listen, send them another email telling them, listen, what went wrong, give us some feedback, we'll improve, right? Send them more and more emails. And I can go over the copy of these emails if you want. It's very, very important to know exactly what to write and how to persuade people in an ethical fashion to go to your end goal, which is, again, being subscribers on a yearly plan on the highest package. But this is all to say that every single one of these needs to have a detailed and segmented email sequence. For example, here's what we're doing, right? When a free user becomes a paid user, these are all groups inside our mailing software. We use MailerLite. So when a free user becomes paid, right, we send them from the all users group to the subscribed users, right? When that paid user cancels, we move them from the subscribed users to the canceled users. And again, each one of these ones in red has their own email sequence. The all users get an email sequence, right, with the end goal to get them to the subscribed users. The subscribed users get different email sequences, right? So again, once they cancel, for example, they go from subscribed users to canceled users to get another email sequence, right? Let's say, for example, when a paid user pays monthly, right, is monthly, they are copied from the subscribed users to a monthly user so they can get a tailored email sequence for where they're at the moment, which the goal is to get them to the yearly. When they paid monthly cancels, you move them, of course, to the canceled. When they paid monthly yearly, so monthly to yearly, we move those from monthly users group to the yearly users groups. Again, they get a different email sequence. When the paid user yearly cancels, we copy them, of course, from the subscribed users to when the paid user pays yearly, we of course move them from the subscribed users to yearly users. And when the paid user yearly cancels, we move them from the yearly users to the canceled users. And again, they had a tailored email sequence for that case in specific. Now, this is a lot, and I understand this is boring, and maybe I'm speaking a bit too fast, but this takes a lot of work, and most email marketing tools aren't ready for this, at least not the ones that I've tried. It's a pain in the ass to do it manually, but you have to do it, right? Then these are all the 7 sequences with all different emails. Then you have these subsequences for upgrading packages. So for example, when a paid monthly user is on your basic package, you want to have a sequence, let's call it sequence A, which the goal is to get them to the package number 2, right? Your second most expensive package. If they are already on your second most expensive package, you want to have a sequence B to get them to your highest paying package. When they are on your monthly, let's call it monthly, the highest paying package, you gotta have your sequence C to get them to buy the yearly package, right? Same thing for yearly. When they are on a yearly plan for the basic package, you want to have a different sequence. When you're on the yearly plan on a middle package, you have a different sequence. So you want to have different sequences for different users, because if your SaaS has 2 pricing plans or 1 pricing plan, or I don't know, however many pricing plans you have, you always got to double it, because you have the monthly users, billing cycle for month, you have the billing cycle for year. And doing this is a shit ton of work, like I said, but by segmenting this and segmenting people, you can easily and more effectively drive them to where you want them to go. Right? Just having a generic sequence for everyone isn't going to make sense, because, like I said before, you don't want people that have canceled their subscription to still be getting your emails that you send to people to buy a subscription. Right, doesn't make sense. And also, you don't want your people your monthly users to be getting email sequences to upgrade to. You don't want your yearly users to be getting email sequences that you'd be sending to monthly users to upgrade to yearly. If that makes sense. And that's all, right? That's all you need to know. Super boring videos, super weird. But I was just now setting this up. We had the basic version of this set up, but I was just now setting all this up. It's a pain in the ass, but it's 100% worth it, because now we can segment and drive the users where we want them to go. So yeah, that's it. I would suggest you do a diagram like this, from all to paid to your packages to your yearly or canceled. And yeah, then build out email sequences with the end goal of getting them on the highest package on the yearly plan. All right, another one done. So in this one, I want to speak about 3 things: churn, LTV, and pricing. Churn is the rate at which customers cancel. And if you have a SaaS business, it is a recurring business model. So people pay you every single month to get access to your software, right? And your whole goal is ideally to have the churn as 0%. So they never cancel. That's of course impossible, and churn will never be zero because eventually people will cancel. Maybe they find a better solution, a more cheaper version of it. They fall out of love with the product and want to use a competitor, right? There's a million ways and reasons why people cancel, right? But I want to speak about ways in which and how you can reduce churn, okay? Then I want to speak in ways on how you can increase LTV. LTV stands for long-term value or lifetime value. Super important because your goal is to squeeze as much value from the customer as possible. And finally, I want to speak about pricing. Pricing is a very sensitive topic, but I want to speak about at least the top level stuff about it and how you can leverage price and also combine it with email to make more money by leveraging some different pricing offers. So let's just break it down and I'll be right back. Right, so you have a software business, in specific a SaaS, software as a service, and you want to reduce churn. I'm going to go over exactly how we did it. We had the churn at about 45% at one time, and we've been able to consistently drop it down. It's over at 18%. We were able to put it at like 15%. Just know that you're never going to be able to drop it down to zero. It is impossible, right? It's going to be a constant battle all throughout your business journey, right? Just like maximizing MRR, so monthly recurring revenue, is a infinite battle because you can just, the limit is like infinite. Churn, the limit in theory is zero, so it tends to zero, but you cannot reach zero, okay? So just know that there's things you can do. There's no like one silver bullet, because there's not just one thing you can do to erase churn or to lower it. It's a multitude of different things, a multitude of steps you can take, and of course you have to tailor these steps to your own software, okay? So I'm gonna go over exactly what we're doing to reduce the churn in our software business. So I'm just reduce my face size here and let's go over this. So again, these things might seem somewhat obvious, but I'm gonna try and give you examples in each one of them so you can apply these to your own business. So how to reduce churn for your SaaS, do this, all be doomed. Essentially you're gonna be doomed because, just a quick tangent here, as you grow, as the monthly recurring revenue grows, right, so does the number of subscribers, individual people, right? And if you don't reduce churn, right, eventually there's going to come a point that you get 100 new customers per month, right? But if you have a churn of 20%, 20 of them cancel every single month, right? And that's okay, right? But once you have, let's say, 200 customers, and if you still keep the churn at 20%, now 40 of them cancel, right? So it becomes way, way harder to grow if you don't take care of churn, right? So there comes a point where the growth leverage you can pull are so hard because your churn is so high. So at the same time, you got to focus on growing the revenue, but you also got to focus on ways to reduce the churn, right? So keep that in mind. So first things first, it's pretty obvious, right? Ability to downgrade plan, right? So I don't know what your cancel sequence looks like, but when someone goes out, because people can cancel just by not renewing their card, right? But a lot of people cancel just by going to the dashboard and clicking cancel, right? Now, when you're there, you should have a sequence so that people, when they click the little big cancel button, maybe a pop-up shows up saying, wait, don't cancel yet, we would like to downgrade your plan, right? So ability to downgrade the plan, because oftentimes what I've seen is that people feel like they're paying too much or feel like they're paying for things they do not use, right? Features they do not use. And so just the offer of you offering them to downgrade them to a lower plan with less features, but all the ones they need, and of course they reduce pricing, is enough to reduce the churn, right? Again, like I said, there's no one silver bullet. There's not one little thing you're going to implement that's going to be amazing to reduce churn, but it's all these little steps that do all add up. So downgrading plan, right? Giving them a message, listen, you should downgrade plan instead of canceling, or even offering them a discount coupon when they're canceling. Wait, don't cancel. Instead of canceling, keep the same plan but pay X% less, or go to the lower plan but pay for the lowest plan, right? Hopefully you get my point. Now, big one, and this doesn't just apply to churn, but ask for feedback for users every waking hour, because oftentimes what happens is that someone hops in, they start using your product, and they see that there's something they don't like, or they see that there's something they would like to add, but they don't because they actively don't have the incentive to go out and tell you, oh, hey support, I would like to have this. Hey support, I don't like this. They just don't. So it needs to come from you, right? You need to come from you and emailing them and listen, I noticed you've used a product for XYZ days. What did you like? What did you not like? And what you'd like to see us add? And this is like a simple email sequence. But again, these little simple things all add up. So ask them for feedback. Ask them for what they don't like, what they do like, what they'd like to see. And when you're having these conversations in these email threads, this back and forth, you're going to notice that you start to create rapport, right? People start to trust and like you, right? And that's yet another factor to reduce the likelihood of churn, right? Because if they know who's behind the screen, they're not just paying a software to, for for a service, right? They know who's behind it, the founder, the co-founder, even the support agent, doesn't really matter, right? But they see a person on the other side, that cares about them and wants them to succeed, right? So big one. Then remarket to them after they cancel. So even if they do cancel, of course, this isn't a way to directly reduce churn. It's indirectly, because you can recoup the churn revenue. Is when they cancel, get them on a dedicated email sequence saying, oh, and I can show you mine eventually, but I don't want to like get out of this. But you can send them an email sequence saying, listen, why did you cancel? Ask them why and give them options. Don't just send them an email saying, why did you cancel? And hope that they reply. No, send them an email on why did you cancel? Option A, too expensive. Option B, didn't have the features I wanted. Option C, I don't know, right? And make the effort of them replying as little as possible. So they just have to write A, B, or C, right? So that's a little trick you can use. So ask them, right? Keep on asking them until they reply. Keep on not harassing them, of course, but keep on emailing them until they either unsubscribe, they tell you to F off, or they reply. And when they reply, there's an opportunity there for them to become a new client of yours. Maybe there's a feature they want to see that they didn't see. Okay, tell them, okay, we're gonna add this next week. Boom, add it, get them back as a client, right? Offer them a discount, right? Talk to them as a person. Okay, why did you cancel? Maybe too expensive. Okay, here's a discount for 20% off. Boom, get it, right? Talk to them, because oftentimes it's like a relationship, right? A marriage. I'm not married, but I guess like a girlfriend, right? Ask what the problem is, and then go out and find the solution to fix that problem, right? Simple, not easy, but hopefully you get what I'm saying right here. Then, segmented email sequences. So you need to nurture people differently, right? So a user that's on a yearly plan is less likely to cancel than a user on a monthly plan. Firstly, because the user on a yearly plan is locked in for 12 months, but this is just my first point here, monthly versus yearly. And then a user on the most expensive plan, right, is, in my opinion, and what I've seen, is less likely to cancel than a user on the lower tier plan. So email them differently, right? Because all the plans, of course, also have different types of features. So you got to email different users on different plans, right? So there's the two things right here. There's the plan, and there's the periodicity of the plan, so yearly or monthly, and then the actual plan. So you got to have different emails for different people, right? One of your email sequences should be focusing on, for example, if you're targeting monthly clients on the highest plan, just soft things. But if you're targeting the monthly plans on the lower tiers, your goal is to get them to go to the next plan, the medium plan, and then the biggest plan, and then over to the yearly plans. And I have a video solely on this, right, on how to nurture people by plan and by like if they're on the yearly or the monthly, because there's like, if you have 3 plans and 2 like yearly or monthly, there's like 6 things you can focus on, right? So on the, I don't dive deep into this right now because I have a video solely on this, but essentially on the lowest plan, your goal is to get them to go to the second plan, right, the more expensive one, and then to get them to the hyper expensive one, right? And then each one of these ones, you have to get them to go to the yearly plan, and that again for the yearly plan if they're on the cheapest plan. So hopefully you get my point, but again, nurture people in a different way, because different users are paying different things for your services and also paying for different features. So that matters a lot, because if you're constantly emailing people with info that there's not really tailored to them, they're going to get bored and they're not really going to really see the value in your product, so they're more likely to cancel, right? More likely, not saying they will, but they're more likely to. And of course, the biggest one, focus on annual plans, right? Biggest winner, because if you're focusing on annual plans, only getting new users for yearly plans, their churn rate in terms of months is 12 months, right? If you get someone on a monthly plan, maybe they stick around for 4-6 months, right? But if you get them on a yearly, you're guaranteed to have 12 months, okay? Because they can only cancel after 12 months, right? It depends on your refund policy, but you get my point, right? Your goal is to get them on yearly plans. So one thing you can do is offer a big discount if people subscribe to yearly plans, okay? Easy. Now, the biggest thing we've done after all these ones is figuring out why people cancel, right? And it is simply when they're canceling to add a questionnaire. Why did you cancel, right? As I mentioned this in the email, right? We send them an email after asking why, but on there we get a dedicated tailored response. They have to write a response saying, okay, I canceled because this, and that, right? Either they say the product quality isn't good enough, either they say it's too expensive, either they say whatever they want to say, right? But you have to write a paragraph of what the issue is, right? And then what we do is we associate that client and their reply of why they canceled with what they did inside of the product. And I can show you this eventually, but we built this internal dashboard that essentially connects all these pieces, right? First, who are they? Then why did they cancel, and then what they did using our SaaS. Then we could see, okay, does the feedback they gave us for canceling make sense according to what they did in the platform? For example, if they say, it's too expensive, and we see that they use the product like for over a month, 2 months, and they use it extensively, maybe we can see, okay, yeah, they think it's too expensive, but they used it all, so it provides value to them. So maybe this is the type of client where, okay, they don't want to pay that much, but maybe we can offer them a discount on that same plan, and they keep the same features because we know where they use them, right? Instead of you losing a client, you just make less revenue off of that client, right? So that's just an example. You have to tailor these responses and tailor this to different clients. Now, eventually you can sort of automate this, but it needs to be somewhat tailored to each person, right? So that's what we're doing to reduce churn. Short video. It's fucking hot here. I have to turn on the AC. Hope you like these ones. Let me know in the comments down below if you like them. If you don't, let me know as well, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers. What's up? So I'm back. I want to talk about the biggest and most important metric in SaaS for your SaaS success, which is LTV. You might have heard about this, but I want to go over into why it's so important and why you should really nail down on it and know actually what this means and how to apply this line of thinking to your business. So first things first is metrics. There are metrics in any business, but a lot of metrics are what we call vanity metrics, right? For example, video views on YouTube, likes on Instagram, shares on TikTok, right? Retweets on Twitter, right? All these, yes, social media can drive traffic and make money to your business, but at the end of the day, they can be vanity metrics, right? Because more views or more followers don't necessarily mean more money, right? And so, but that's a video for another time, right? Because you gotta understand that to convert or to increase the conversion rate from views, from numbers on the screen or views or followers to money, you have to produce a certain type of content, but I'll record a video on that later on. But essentially, these are what we call vanity metrics. Now, LTV is not a vanity metric at all, right? It is a metric that matters a lot, in fact. LTV stands for lifetime value, okay? And so what this means essentially is, and this applies not just to SaaS, it applies to any business really. What this means is when someone comes into your SaaS and starts paying you $49 a month, right, per month, how many months do they stay with you, right? If it is, for example, 5 months, that is $250, okay? $250. So this is your lifetime value. So on average, of course, we have to do the average, right? Because this should be the average of all your clients, because LTV is a lifetime value, and you should be doing the average of all your clients. The average of all your clients is, let's say you have 100 clients, and unusual, on average, if you do the median, right, each one of these are all stay for 5 months on average, okay? So it means that your LTV is $250 per customer. Okay, now why does this matter? For a lot of reasons. First, if you're running ads to your SaaS, you know that you can spend at least $249 to acquire one customer, right? Because if they are worth on average $250, if you're paying $249 to acquire a customer, you are printing $1. Now, ideally, the value shouldn't be this close, but you get my point, right? If, for example, you set that you can, because you want to have some margin, right? You set it so you acquire a customer for 100, you make $150 back. So you're printing money because you're giving Facebook money for ads, right? You do ads on Facebook, Google, whatever, right? And you are paying them, I don't know, let's say your budget is 10K a month, a big budget, right? 10K a month on ads, right? A lot of people come to your site, a lot of people sign up, some don't buy, and some of them become buyers, right? From the signups, they become actual buyers. So out of 10K people, $10,000, sorry, let's say you get 100,000 people in, and a couple of them actually become buyers, right? So on average, a couple of them, you spend $100 to acquire a lead. Hopefully this is making sense, right? And you know this is good, this is safe, because on average, each lead you acquire stays for 5 months, which for this package is $250 in LTV, in lifetime value. So it is a very, very important metric, right? Because again, you know how much you can spend to acquire a lead. Again, this is if you're spending money on ads, which eventually you will get to this point, right? I recommend you just start with organic because it's free. It's not free. It costs time, and time is money, right? But if you're the founder, if you're the owner, you can do the marketing yourself. Now, if you're hiring someone to do the marketing for you, let's say, for example, you're paying $1,000 for a social media manager that's doing YouTube videos, that's doing Twitter threads, that's doing cold email outreach, right? You're paying $1,000 a month for a marketer, right? you of course want to see a return. So let's say this is $1,000, get you 10 clients. You know that those 10 clients will be worth $2,500. Okay, so 250 times 10. And so you need to know these numbers. You need to know what your LTV is, because you're going to be spending money to market your software. Whether that's direct money you're paying someone or your own time, but eventually you're going to want to hire people to do the marketing for you. You're going to have to pay them. Okay, so it's a very, very important metric. And your goal should be to maximize LTV, right? Maximize the lifetime value, because this is very attractive for people or for businesses that want to eventually buy your software, right? If they see, okay, this SaaS has 400 customers, right, with an average LTV of $15,000 or $1,500, okay? This is very attractive, right? Because they know, okay, they have 400 customers, and on average, each one of them spends $1,500. It's pretty good, right? That's pretty cool. Now, the way in which we can increase LTV, pretty simple, it's to just increase your prices, okay? Either get more customers or increase your prices. Now, the easiest thing to do, honestly, is just to increase your prices. Getting more customers is not easy, right? The easiest thing to do is always increase your prices. Now, you can only increase your prices to some extent, right? And also you can only increase your prices depending on your type of business. If you have a B2B SaaS, B2C SaaS, it's going to be quite hard to have a high LTV, because again, B2C, usually it's more customers, less, not as pricey as B2B software. Because for B2B software, you're dealing with businesses, right? And they're more willing, they're just more willing to spend much more money because they're businesses, right? And your software is B2B. Now, of course, the downside of B2B is that it tends to be harder to acquire customers. On B2C, it tends to be easier to acquire customers. However, they churn faster, right? Churning is they stop paying you. So the months they stay on, the number of months is usually 1, 2, maybe, depending. And on B2B, it's harder to acquire customers, but the LTV and the churn rate, so the LTV is higher, the churn rate is lower. They tend to stay on for more months, because when a business buys the software, they don't want to be switching out software, right? They stay with the software for a long, long time, years, right? And so I'll record a video later on which one should you be building, B2C or B2B. We do B2B, but B2C is also cool because you get to be a lot more creative, because you're targeting the end customer. And when you're targeting businesses, you don't have to be, or you cannot be that creative. But yeah, we'll record a video on that. So yeah, this is a metric that you should be targeting and should be looking at every single week or day, right? What's your current LTV, especially if you're spending money on ads, because you want to make sure you're profitable, right? You don't want to be spending money on ads and not profitable, right? You don't want to grow negatively. You're not Uber, right? You're not Uber. You're not a VC-backed company. You don't have a limited money to spend on ads. So you want to make sure you're profitable. So yeah, LTV, super important. Start measuring it. Right, so 2 ways to increase LTV for your SaaS. LTV stands for lifetime value. SaaS stands for software as a service. Essentially, how you can make more money with your software business. Now, this is guaranteed because I've done it over and over again. And yeah, you'll do this or don't. But if you don't, you'll be doomed forever. So what are these 2 ways? First one is obviously pretty straightforward. Is just charge more, right? If you want to make more money, if you want to increase the lifetime value of your customers, you want them to pay more over a certain period, is just to charge more, increase your prices. You should be increasing your prices every 6 months, right? Increase your prices because you're adding new features to your software, you're improving the product, so it's only fair that you charge more, because the product gets better, the value is higher, then you should charge more, right? Then, second thing, which is the biggest one here, is the one that makes more sense, is your main focus should be annual plans. Now, this seems pretty straightforward, but there's 2 things here that need to make sense and you need to nail down. First things first is if you're just focusing on yearly plans, so instead of people just buying monthly plans, so for $50 they buy a monthly plan, focus on and have them buy a yearly plan for half the price. Why? Because you get more money up front. It's simple, right? So with a monthly plan, you're getting $50 today, right? $50 in a month's time, $50 in 60 days, 50 more in 90 days. With a yearly plan, you might get, I don't know, if we discounted it to the months, you might get $10. Actually, that doesn't make sense. With the yearly plan, essentially you get 5,000 or 500 or whatever today, right? They lock in today, they pay you today, so you have more money if you're investing in ads, in marketing, right? You have money up front to invest in acquiring more customers, right? You have more money up front, and it's better to have money today than money tomorrow, right? You want to have your money today, even if that means discounting it, right? And you can use this as a marketing tactic. Here's an example, right? Let's say your monthly plan is $50 a month, right? And let's say on average, users on your software stay on for 4 months, right? 50 times 4, that's $200. So your lifetime value for your customers is $200. So someone comes in, they buy a product, let's say for 4 months at $50 a month, they pay you $50 today, $50 next month, $50 the next month, and over again for 4 months, sorry, you make $200, right? Now, the way in which you can use this as a marketing tactic is by discounting it. So here's yearly plan. The yearly plan, of course, yearly plans, you announce them as how much they cost per month, right? It's a marketing technique on your landing page. Let's say it's $19 a month, right? Paid in full, of course, today, right? That means they paid today $228, right? Now, why is this better, right? Because with the 200, you only get these 4 months in, right? With a yearly, even though you're discounting the price over or more than 60%, because $19, $20 is a 60% discount from 50, right? So even though you're discounting your prices 60%, which seems like a great deal, right? It is a great deal, right? Because why wouldn't I just lock in the yearly price and save 60%? Sounds like a very good deal, right? And it is, right? But it's even better for you as a business, because not only do you discount the price and have the customers be happier, not only do you get money up front, but also you get more money, right? Even though you discount the price 60%, you get more money, right? And you get the money up front. You get $228 up front. You don't have to wait 4 months. And remember, this is the average, right? The average customer stays on for 4 months, right? Maybe it's even 3, maybe it's 2, right? And most customers won't stay. I mean, you always got to focus on the average still, but still focusing on the average, you get less money. Of course, if you change the values around, you can play around with this change. But the goal the rule of thumb you should follow is have a price. Don't focus necessarily on the discount, but have this. I mean, you got to know your numbers. The only number you need to know here is your LTV, your average, the average number of months people stay on for, right? Because as soon as you know this, and as soon as you know your monthly price, you know this value. So now you know that the yearly plan should at least be $1 higher. I mean, or in this case, it's $20 higher, right? And it's worth it. Even though you're just quote unquote making $20 more, $28 more, you're making them today, right? And you're offering them a 60% discount. Now, this might seem quite obvious and might seem like a no-brainer, but this is exactly what we use to make more money, right? To make more money today and increase the business valuation. Because don't forget that if people are staying on for 12 months, by the way, I mean, if they're buying the yearly plan, they're locked in for 12 months, they're going to be, let's say, someone that might have purchased the 4-month monthly plan and left after 4 months. With the monthly plan, and if you're interacting with your users and asking them questions, you get user feedback for 12 months, ideally, right? So it's very, very important. User feedback is essentially what makes your product grow. But yeah, that's how you make more money with SaaS. That's how you increase the LTV, the lifetime value of your users. First, charge more, increase your prices. And second, focus on yearly plans, right? Pretty straightforward. Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. So the thing that you want to do is consistently be increasing prices, right? There is no ceiling to pricing because there's always people willing to pay more, right? Always. While at the same time, of course, while you increase the prices, you improve your product. Because if you improve your product, if there's product improvement, you can also increase the price. You should not, I don't recommend you do it, you should not be increasing your prices if you don't add extra value to your product. That's my opinion. That's what I did. What I didn't do, right? And so also there is no magic number for pricing, right? What works for me and what I'm gonna tell you right now might not work for you, most likely won't work for you, and what works for like billion-dollar companies like Slack, Shopify, Salesforce won't necessarily work for you. However, there are rules you can apply to develop your own pricing strategy based on what these guys are doing and what I'm doing as well. And these two, I guess, rules are, first one is the plans themselves, so how the plans with the different features, how you structure the plans. And the second thing is, of course, the pricing of each plan, okay? Now, first things first is, regarding this one right here, making your plans more attractive, so your basic plan, your advanced plan, your enterprise plan more attractive is simply just add more features to each one, okay? So if this one has 2 features, this one has 5, and this one has 10, and this, of course, the pricing increases this way, okay? Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Now, your goal with the plans, both the features themselves and the pricing, is to create a ladder both vertically in terms of course, where you get them from monthly to yearly plans, and horizontally in terms of the plans. And I'll go over exactly what I mean. So again, ladder vertically in terms of monthly to yearly plans, and ladder horizontally in terms of plans. So what do I mean by this? In terms of the horizontal ladder, this one, right, your goal is always to move the monthly paying customers to yearly paying customers, right? Because again, when someone is paying $49 a month for your SaaS, right, $49 per month for your SaaS, right, that's great, right? But they can, let's say they stay on for 5 months, that's $250, I think. Yeah, $250 a month. And yeah, you can all, yeah, but your goal is always to get them to the yearly plan, where of course it's maybe a bit cheaper, $39 a month, which is I think 400 something dollars a year. So the LTV, right, is much higher here. It's almost double, right? It's makes perfect sense, right? If you have monthly customers, you want to lock them in for 12 months, right? Because they're gonna be paying you for the 12 months. So again, the horizontal ladder is taking the customers, they're not your customers, of course, to being monthly customers and then to being yearly customers, right? And the way, and I have videos on this, on how you can make this gem more attractive is, of course, for example, simplest way is to just offer discount if they pay yearly, okay? Now, that's the horizontal ladder. It's the billing frequency, monthly or yearly. Then you have the horizontal ladder, which is this one right here, right? Which is basically the plan ladder, right? So the more expensive your plan gets, right, the more they go up the ladder, the more features they get. So more features, of course, higher the price. Now, this is pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I mean, anyone can understand this. These are simple concepts, right? They're not the easiest ones to implement, but they're quite simple, right? So again, to apply these two rules, right, you gotta make the plans themselves, play around with the features, and play around with the pricing. And this implies you have to focus on these two ladders. The billing frequency ladder, which is the horizontal one, getting them from monthly to yearly, and the vertical ladder, which is getting them from the shittiest, cheapest plan, $9 a month, to then the $19 a month, then the $99 a month, then the $1,000 a month, then the enterprise plan, which is, I don't know, $10,000 a month. And there's ways in which you can do this, and I have videos solely on this, how you can make them more enticing, and email sequences and all that, and how you structure these. I won't dive deep into this right now, but there are ways in which you can do this, okay? So just know that these are two ways, horizontally and vertically, to make more money with your SaaS. Now, you don't overcomplicate it, right? Don't like try to look for complex models and what these guys are doing, and maybe try to use AI to optimize your pricing. That's dumb. You're going to spend so much time on it. Just start doing it and try to follow these rules I'm going to talk about here, right here. These are my rules. This is what works for me. But hopefully you can have some critical thinking and take the rules that I go over here and try to apply them with, again, some critical thinking to your own business. So first things first is, of course, increasing pricing granularly, right? Until people stop paying. So every, 6 months, 8 months, 4 months, increase the pricing a bit, right? Increase the pricing 10%, 20%, 30%. Keep on increasing it, of course, as you keep on improving the product. And eventually you're going to see, okay, yeah, the price is all very, very high and people aren't purchasing, or there's a lot of friction in the purchasing phase, or the time to conversion is very, very high and I cannot afford this at the moment. So again, you will know when the price is too high, right? So just be increasing the pricing granularly. That's what we do, right? Then don't forget that there's always people willing to pay more, right? So have a super expensive plan. Have an enterprise plan. Again, if you have a plan that's 1K per month, the maximum people will pay you is 1K per month. But if you have a plan that's 10K per month, right? Now the maximum people will pay you is 10K per month. Again, super simple, super straightforward, makes perfect sense, but people don't do this. So again, have a super expensive plan, because there's always people willing to pay more. There's always people wanting to have the highest pricing one, because they know it's the best, right? Usually enterprise clients, they just go for the best. They don't really check the feature list. They just know, okay, the product does this, I want to do this, but I want to have every single feature. I don't know what the features do exactly, but I want everything because I want to have the best of the best. So they just buy the higher plan without even looking at the lower ones. So again, if you have a higher plan, people will buy it, right? There's always people willing to pay more. Know that, okay? And again, if your highest plan is 1K, most people will pay with 1K a month. But if your highest plan is 10K a month, most people will pay with 10K a month, okay? Then, third one is price your product based on price your product based on the product and brand's perceived value. So how you position yourself. You position yourself as a premium brand, because you're going to have competitors. Because if you don't have competitors, it's maybe if you don't have competitors, one, you are amazing and super intelligent, you're going to be building $1 billion company, or 2, your product isn't, people don't need your product because you don't have competitors. But again, take a look at where you stand in terms of your competitors, how premium you are in relation to all them, and if you are more premium than them, in how you look, on the copy you use, how your brand is perceived, on the UI, the UX, make your product more expensive, right? That's because your perceived value increases if you increase your pricing. So again, price your SaaS based on how you as a brand come across. Hopefully this makes sense. Then of course, price it based on your competitors, right? So if the average of all your competitors pricing is, I don't know, $10 a month, don't go and price your product at $1,000 or $10,000 a month, because it is a huge disparity and a huge jump, right? People just go to your competitors. Even though you're a little bit better, it is a too high of a jump, okay? And then of course the actual value of the tool, right? If you feel like, and honestly sit down and think, okay, my software tool gives people so much value, and if they use it right, they're able to generate this extra amount of revenue for their business, or they're able to save this amount of time, or to save this amount of money. And so I honestly think that this is what we should be pricing the software at. So these three things will help you pricing your packages right. Fourth is, of course, B2C pricing is much lower than B2B. That's just reality. So if you're targeting customers like people like me and you, clients, is you charge much less than if you're charging an actual business, because businesses have more money. Okay, pretty straightforward. Just know that when you're pricing your product. So if you have a SaaS and you're looking at your industry, and if your SaaS is geared towards B2C, for example, let's say, and this is a SaaS that exists, which is Headshot Pro. You upload photos yourself, and with AI, it converts your non-professional photo to a LinkedIn-worthy photo, adds a suit, touches up your face, all that, right? They mostly sell to B2C, right? Now, there could be a competitor that just sold to B2B. So, for example, instead of selling to consumers, they would go to businesses and say, okay, listen, we have this software, send us pictures of all your employees, and we'll make them LinkedIn-worthy and put them on your page, right? And again, it's the same SaaS, there's the same exact thing, but one is targeting B2B, the other is targeting B2C, and they're able to charge much more here. So again, for the same idea, for the same product, if they target B2B, they can charge much more. So just take that into account. Then, fifth, don't increase prices for your current customers, okay? Grandfather the pricing. So again, if tomorrow you increase your pricing, just do it for new users. Don't increase the pricing for old users, right? Do grandfathering, because this is how you make people and customers like and trust you, right? Don't just increase their pricing overnight. Doesn't make any sense. Again, just increase prices for new customers. And finally, having lower prices just reduces your perceived value, right? Meaning, if you have cheap prices, people think your product is cheap. It isn't good. It's just human psychology. So again, price yourself in a way that isn't overly cheap, because people think, it's too cheap. How can this be good, right? Take that into account. So yeah, that's basically it. Basically a rant, but this is what you can do to make a lot of money with SaaS. In specific, you make money by a bunch of different ways, but one of them, of course, there's marketing, there's a bunch of stuff, but one of the ways is getting pricing right. And hopefully with all this info that I just yapped right here, maybe a bit too fast even, because I know I'm speaking a bit too fast, you're able to take some insights from this, some gold nuggets, and apply it to your own business. How to increase your SaaS MRR by 100% overnight by pressing just one button. Literally one change is needed. And what that is pricing, okay? If you change your pricing the way I'm about to show you, you can just make literally more money overnight. How do I know? Because we've done this quite a few times and it just works, okay? And the concept here is that basically you are just not charging enough. If you have a SaaS right now, chances are you're not charging enough. You should double your prices, triple your prices, or create new plans that are higher priced. And I'll go over that in just a second here. So 2 things to take into account. Most likely, most of your MRR comes from your most expensive plan. So if you go on your Stripe account and check, right, if you have, let's say, 3 plans, one at $49 a month, one at, let's do $99 a month, and another one at $299 a month, for example, just example, sorry, most likely, most your MRR, most your revenue will come from this plan right here. Even though, of course, you might have more people on this, you'll see it's skewed to the right side, to the most expensive plan. And so what this tells you is a few things. First, if, let's say, let me give you an example. If this plan is bringing in 5K, let's do even less. This plan is bringing in 1K MRR, right? And this plan is bringing in 5K MRR, okay? What you might think is, okay, I might just discontinue this plan and just focus on this one because, and let's say our total MRR is 10K, right? 50 plus, let's say 50% of our MRR is coming from people on this plan. So your efforts should be allocated to people on this plan, to getting more customers to this plan. And this is somewhat simple to understand. I mean, anyone with a brain can understand this, right? If most of your customers, most of your business revenue comes from people paying you $250 a month, right? You should focus on that plan. Maybe this plan has more features. Maybe this plan has more credits. Maybe this plan has something that this one doesn't have. And even though this one might have more customers, right? You need to make the same amount of money you make selling one of these plans. You need, for example, 4 or 5 or 6 of these for $9 a month plan. My math could be wrong, but again, you get my point. You need to get a lot more people in to this plan to make the same amount than to get them on this plan. And this goes to my next point, is that it is as easy to make a $49 a month sale, right, than a $49 a month sale. So it is as easy to sell one of these plans than one of these ones. And people think it's not, because they of course have more people usually on the cheaper plans. The thing is that it is as easy to sell it. Why people think it's harder too is because there's less people willing to pay $249 a month. Well, of course, there's always more people willing to pay less. And so your job as a business owner, as a SaaS owner, is to find people willing to pay $249 a month instead of the $49 a month, right? Because you're going to put in the same effort, most likely. And I'm speaking from experience here, you're going to have to put in the same effort to sell a $49 a month subscription than a $249 a month. Because at the end of the day, you're selling to people. And again, people buy from people, as you know before, I said before, and people work the same, right? Someone that has the money to give you $249 a month versus someone that has the money to give you $49 a month, if your SaaS is solving a problem to them, both of them will be as easy to convert and buy your product. So the first takeaway I want to give you from this is that if, again, and most likely just check your Stripe, if most of your MRR comes from your most expensive plan, which should be coming from it, right? Focus your efforts on this, right? Focus on this, add more features, speak to more of these customers, ask what they want, ask for referrals to these customers, ask testimonials, ask these people, and make sure you give extra priority to the people that are giving you more money. It makes perfect sense, right? Again, these people also give you money, but not as much money as the other people. And so what you're going to learn by actively doing this and speaking to them and figuring out what they want and improving the product based on these guys' ideas, because these are the ones paying your bills, right, is that eventually you're going to discontinue the $49 a month plan. And what's going to happen is this is going to go over and pass on to maybe $69 a month, right? And then what you're going to do is that maybe this goes out of business, and then you just start with $99 a month. And then you have another plan, for example, an enterprise plan, starting at $599 a month. And this is the life of a SaaS, right? You start with, if you do a graph with time and prices, as time goes on, right, your prices will eventually increase. This is the timeline of every single SaaS. And a great example of this is that when a SaaS starts out, prices are low, right? And they get a shit ton of customers, and eventually when the prices are so high because they're catering to these customers, the enterprise customers, the big fish, eventually new startups that have the same idea and the same product start a product that's similar to theirs, to this one, but with just a lower price point. For example, a great example of this is Typeform. Typeform is a form creation SaaS. You can create forms with them. And they started with prices very low, but then they started increasing, and now for what they're selling, it is super pricey, right? And nobody that only is willing to give them $12 a month, $20 a month will join, because first, the plans start at, $100 a month. It's quite expensive, but they're also focusing on the enterprise clients. And so this opens the doors for new SaaSes where the product is similar to capture this market that the SaaS, because it grew, left the market. Hopefully this is making sense, but basically as soon as your SaaS grows, right, you start forgetting about the customers who pay less and focusing on the customers that pay more, right? You're going to start skewing to the right side, right? And that's just what you have to do to make more money, right? Because you cannot always be stuck in the $10, $12, $39, $49 a month, because, you just can't, because your goal is to grow, and the easiest way to grow is just to increase your prices, right? It is not adding new features. Of course, adding new features and doing marketing also works, but the single biggest hack to just make more money overnight is just take a look at your pricing and double it, right? And we've done this. Literally, we've done this, and on the day we did it, we made 5 figures in one day, okay? Over $10,000 in just one day. And the MRR grew, right? And also, one other thing is that when you're charging higher prices, the perceived value is much higher. So if I, example, have two SaaSes that do the same thing, right? SaaS A and SaaS B, and this one charges $9 a month, right? But this other one charges $99 a month, right? And if I'm serious about my business and these SaaSes solve a problem, a very good problem for my business, I would tend to choose this one right here, because I would think, and you can even do this exercise, right? Why are these guys charging just $9? Why are these guys charging $99? Surely they must be better. And that also happens. You can increase the perceived value of your business just by charging more. So if you're in a very competitive market where there's not many differentiating factors between you and your competitors, just charging more, just the concept of charging more will make you different from them, right? Because again, the perceived value is higher and people think that you provide a better service, right? So that's another thing that also is great when increasing prices. And also, I know it's scary to increase prices because you might think, fuck, we're going to increase prices and nobody bought. I suggest that when you increase prices, wait at least 2 weeks to see the changes. Because if you just increase prices, I mean, your current customers, by the way, you won't charge your current customers more, right? You're going to grandfather the prices. So if someone is paying $49 a month and all of a sudden you double their prices, they won't be paying $100 a month, right? This is just only for new customers. You need to make sure that's clear, right? You don't want to increase the prices of your current customers. That's not a very good practice, okay? But again, you might think like you change your prices and then you don't see any sales over 2 weeks. Wait at least 2 weeks because things take time and changing pricing is a very sensitive thing. And it takes time for you to see the results, not instantaneous, okay? And again, I know it's scary, but it's what you have to do, right? Increasing prices, doubling it, maybe increasing it just 20%, 30%, 50%. It's literally the easiest thing you can do to make more money, literally, right? It's just clicking a button, changing the pricing on Stripe, whatever you use to collect pricing, collect payments, you just make more money overnight. It's that simple, really. And I know this might seem like too easy, but it is that easy. Of course, again, make sure that the pricing you are putting out on your SaaS makes sense according to the market, makes sense according to the value you provide. Because if you increase your prices by 1,000%, most likely nobody will buy. Now, another thing I think you should be doing, because we've done it and it works great, is you have your $49 a month plan, $99 a month plan, $249 a month plan, right? And you'll see, again, there's people paying for each one. Then you add the $599 a month plan, and people buy this, right? You'll notice that the more expensive the plan is, you're always going to have customers on it. 2K a month, 10K a month, you're always going to have customers on it. One, because there's always people willing to pay more, and two, because when people find a SaaS and when people feel like that SaaS will solve the problem, right? They want their problem solved and they don't even check for the features for what each plan has. They just wanted to have the best, right? The best tends to be the more expensive. So just pay for the most expensive. And this happens to us often, right? We have people paying for the most expensive plan and they don't even necessarily need it, but they just pay for it because they think, okay, I have this issue, this SaaS solves my issue. I'm going to just pay for the biggest one, the best plan, the most expensive one with all the features, and I just wanted the best one. I want the best service you guys are able to offer. So just buy the most expensive one. And so again, my point with this is you are going to start with pricing low, right? You're going to start increasing them, and because you don't want to have like 10 different pricings, you're going to be deleting the old ones and just sticking with the higher ones. So you're going to be increasing prices over and over again. And I suggest having a very high price plan, an enterprise plan with an API or something for like real enterprise clients, because people will buy it. Okay, people will always buy the most expensive plan, right? It's just the nature of how things work, honestly. And so if I can leave you with one takeaway from this video is take a look at your pricing and at least increase it 10%, at least. Because again, most likely if you're watching this, you're not charging enough, really, honestly. And also, I mean, you gotta account for inflation, all that stuff. But again, most likely you're not charging enough. So I urge you to just watch this video. After watching this video, just increase it 10%. Then wait 2 weeks and literally I can almost assure you, you will make more money just with this simple change, okay? And if you do, just come back to this video and comment, hey Vasco, I made a lot more money. And if you don't, you can blame me in the comments as well. But I'm pretty sure that if you just increase them by minimum 10%, you're gonna make more money. I recommend you increase it by 30%. And also, by the way, don't just increase the prices and don't do nothing, right? What you're gonna wanna do is hype it up, right? Again, email sequences, right, it's supposed to be an email, send emails to the non-subscribers, because again, you're not gonna be increasing the price for the subscribers, right? You're only gonna be increasing the price for the non-subscribers. So if you have a SaaS, you're gonna have an email list with the subscribers, right? So your email list should have subscribers and non-subscribers, right? And you should be sending out weekly emails, right, with new features you have, videos you're posting out, content. You should be nurturing, constantly sending out emails to your list, right? And you're going to want to send a sequence to the non-subscribers saying, listen, that's what's up, right? We are going to increase prices next week because this and that, whatever, right? 2 days later, another email, right? 2 days later, another email. Hey guys, listen, as I said 2 days ago, prices are going to be increasing in 4 days, right? To this and that. This is one of your last chances to get in while you can. Our software helps you do this and that. If you were ever on the fence, now is the time to pull the trigger, right? Cause this, make this scarcity, make this, of course, ethical scarcity, push for the sale. Then 2 days later, another email. Listen, guys, today's the last day. Got 24 hours. Prices are going to increase, and they're never going to be back to normal. So if you wanted to get in, now is the time. And then, boom, you gotta make a sale. I mean, I have an email sequence that we did on this. I can share it with you. Just comment down below, or maybe I'll share it. I don't know, via email. I don't know. Just hop. I'll just DM me on Twitter. I don't know. But I have a sequence for this, which we've done. Which this sequence literally made us 10K in one day, 10K plus. So the email sequences we sent out for the non-subscribers, saying we're going to increase prices. We made $10,000 in one day. We made 9K in another one, 6K and 8K, something like that. So a shit ton of money in just a little few days because, again, the email sequence was there. So my point is that don't just increase prices all of a sudden, right? Make it an event. Hey guys, we're going to be increasing prices because this is that. Send emails constantly. Remind them that this is the last chance, right? Over and over again, 24 hours to go, 0 hours to go. And then you can even do a last email. Listen, we just increased prices. As you can see on the side, prices were increased. But still, if you want to get in, just reply to this email and we'll get you in. Also, one thing we did, which you can do too, is on your site, right? Add a little box, a little timer box. And I think maybe NordVPN has this. They're always running these types of promotions. Add a scarcity bar with a timer saying, listen, prices are going up in 10 days. So as you see here, again, deal is going down in 9 hours. This is just bullshit because they're always with this discount. But my point is just add a little bar up, right, with saying prices are going to increase. Join now or join before they increase. These emails are for people on your list already. These ones are for new people that reach your site that are not yet on an email list, because you got to target both. You might as well target both because, again, new people will be reaching your site every single day, and you might catch some with this little thing saying you're going to increase prices. So again, it's not just about increasing prices. There's a reason behind it, and then there's how you increase prices, the processes you take before you increase the prices, which is letting people know, basically. Okay, so now I guess the most awaited part of the course, which is marketing, right? Everyone wants to know about marketing, how to get clients, because, I mean, you can build the whole software, but if you have no one to pay for it, right, it's quite pointless. And marketing is the subject everyone wishes was just a simple red button you could click to get clients. Unfortunately, it's not like that. But again, marketing is the single biggest thing everyone wishes that they knew how to do well, because if you can print clients, you can print money, you're infinitely rich. Now, also the issue with marketing is that there's literally infinite ways in which you can do marketing, right? You can do Pinterest, YouTube, SEO, Facebook ads. You can give out flyers on the street. You can do email, cold emails. There's infinite things you can do, and you'll listen to me speak about all this in this module. But my goal here is not to get you overwhelmed, but it's to do two things. It's to show you the theoretical aspects of marketing and then give you a couple of case studies, tangible case studies from things that I'm doing right now, that you can just look at them and try and copy and apply them to your own business. Okay, so that's it. I guess the most awaited module, so let's just jump straight into it. So where to get your first 100 paying users. Now notice that I've bolded and put in red where, because where is very different from how, right? And I'll record a couple of videos on how, but there are two very distinct things right here. How, it's easy and simple. Where, it's simple, it's not easy, okay? How, again, you can do lifetime deals, you can do a bunch more stuff, but we won't dive into this today. Just gonna dive into where. And asking me where to get your first 100 SaaS paying users is essentially the same thing as asking me, okay, where do I market my product? And marketing oftentimes is viewed as an easy thing, but in my opinion, and I'm of course biased, but it's one of the hardest things you can do. That's why finding 100 SaaS paying customers, that's why finding customers in general, it's hard. If it were easy, everyone would have thousands of customers and making millions of dollars, right? It is very, very, very hard. It is simple. I'm going to go over it and you're going to see it's simple, but it is so hard, okay? So how do you market your product? Essentially, that's what you're asking me. Now, of course, you can use social media, and we all know this, right? Social media, search engines like Google and Bing, you can use cold email, you can ask friends and family, you can even give out flyers on the street, you can use balloons with your logos on it. So the issue with marketing is that there are infinite ways to market the product. Literally, you can go on Pinterest, I mean, you can do so much things, it's infinite. And that's the biggest issue about marketing and why people, in my opinion, struggle with it. They don't know what to do, and either one, they get decision paralysis, so they have all these things they can do, and they don't do any of it because they're like, oh, which one should I do? And they end up not doing anything. Or two, they try one method, one platform, I guess, they fail and they accept defeat, right? And this is just the reality of marketing, right? It is very hard because there's infinite things you can do. And one, you never know which channel you should go to target because it's never just one channel. And two, oftentimes people just fail on other channels and they just quit, right? Now, in all of these channels, there's multiple things you can do here. Social media, right? We can go on YouTube, we can go on TikTok, we can go on Twitter, we can go on LinkedIn, we can go on Instagram, we can go on Pinterest. I mean, there's infinite things we can do. We can go on Snapchat, right? We can do, inside of YouTube, we can do vlogs. We can do, for example, tutorials for our product or like showcases for our product. Inside of TikTok, we can make like, I don't know, get ready with me. Like there's a bunch of different nuances here on each one of these platforms, right? Because the same thing that works on YouTube doesn't work on TikTok. The same thing that works on LinkedIn doesn't work, for example, on Facebook or Pinterest, right? Because LinkedIn is more of a, I guess, business type of audience. So you need to adapt your content to each one of these platforms. Not only do you have to choose where you want to start getting customers from, but then inside of each one of these, each platform has its unique identity, right? Again, what works on one will not work on the other. So you cannot just syndicate, for example, your tweets from Twitter to LinkedIn, right? Because the people that are on LinkedIn don't respond to the marketing efforts you do on Twitter the same way, right? Different people respond to different types of marketing on different types of channels. And this is what makes it so tricky, right? And that's the main reason why to market the product and to get your first 100 users, you need to try every single one of these things. You need to go and try social media, all the social medias, search engines, go try rank on Google, go try rank on Bing, go try rank your site however you want, right? Cold email, go out and email everyone you can, right? Email agencies, email SaaS companies, email B2B businesses, email B2C, right? Email anyone you can put your hands on, email everyone in the world, right? Friends and family, reach out to every single friend and family you have. If you don't have friends, well, I don't know, get some friends. Flyers, yeah, try flyers. Try giving them out in the center of the city. Try giving them out in the countryside. Try giving them out, I don't know, in Bangkok. Try giving them out anywhere you can. Balloons, I don't know, you get my point, right? You have to try every single one of these. Why? Because you don't know what's going to work, right? And I cannot tell you what's going to work. Even if if you told me what your product was, I could more or less assess which channel would be a good idea. For example, if it were more of a B2B SaaS, right? I would say, yeah, maybe go on LinkedIn, right? Maybe go to the business side of social, which is LinkedIn, right? If it were, for example, a B2C SaaS, well, I'll say, try to go on TikTok because more B2C, it's more geared towards B2C, right? If it were lower price, yeah, maybe go on TikTok, right? If it is a product that's not boring like a CRM, if it's something that you can show off, maybe try and go on YouTube because it's a middle ground between TikTok and maybe LinkedIn, right? But it is video form, right? LinkedIn is text form, okay? But again, my point here is that there's no silver bullet. It's impossible for me to tell you, okay, listen, go do this, this, and that. You're going to make millions. You're going to get your 100 first SaaS users. It's impossible. But what I can tell you is, okay, you go out, right, and go and post 100 videos on YouTube. Go and post 100 blog posts on LinkedIn, right? Go and email 2,000 people, 10,000 people, right? Email them what your product does, what your SaaS does, and what issue it solves. It's very important that your SaaS solves an issue, right? And by the way, this video is you're supposed to watch this after you watch my other video on validating your idea, because you don't want to try to promote an idea that's not yet validated, right? I mean, you need to first see, okay, if the market wants your product, if you have like maybe 10 users, right? Then you go out and do and target mass market and try to get your next 100 users, okay? But you need to validate your idea. Now, yeah, a good way to validate it and to get your first 100 users could be do all this, but I recommend you still try and validate it first a bit, right? And then, yeah, go and post 100 YouTube videos, go and post 100 times on LinkedIn, go and post 100 times on Twitter, every single day, right? Every single day, like clockwork, go out and do it, right? Go post on Instagram, go and post on TikTok what you're doing. Maybe document a day in a life, right? I actually did that when I was starting my last software company. I documented every single day what I was doing, right? Today I just bought the domain. Today I just built out these Figma wireframes. Today I just hired a developer. And people relate with this. This is the building in public movement, and people like to see other people build, right? And they support you, right? And it only takes one person, right, watching your video, recommends it to the other person, right? Other person recommends it to someone else, and that someone else knows some other person that knows some other person that actually buys your product, right? It's like a flywheel effect, right? So the issue here again is don't get stuck with decision paralysis. Just go out and do it, right? Don't stay thinking, okay, which one's going to work for me? I don't know if this is going to work. You're never going to know it's going to work, right? I don't know if YouTube's going to work. I don't know if TikTok's going to work. Yeah, you're never going to know. The only way you know, it's of course super cliche, but the only way you're going to know is if you actually go out and try it. So go out and try it. Go out and record 100 videos. Go out and record 100 TikTok. Go out and post 100 times on Instagram. Go out and write 100 blog posts so you can rank on Google, right? Go out and do actual shit. Otherwise, you're not going to get anywhere, right? And when something fails, don't be demoralized. Think, okay, finally, one of these failed. I can go out and test the other one. I only have like 99 left. I don't have to try this other stuff left. I know this one doesn't work. I'm going to move on, right? Reddit. At the beginning, we tried Reddit. We tried Facebook groups. We tried so much stuff, right? But again, it's all a matter of doing as much noise as you can, right? In the most places you can at the beginning, and then once you start to see, okay, more noise and more actions coming from this side, more feedback is coming from this side, you go on and focus to this side, right? But when you're starting, you don't know where to go, right? You don't know where the arrow points to. You're clueless. Now you have some idea. You might have some idea, right? Maybe B2B more LinkedIn, but you don't know, right? You still don't know. And so where you get your first users, the answer is everywhere, right? It's the honest answer, right? Now, in terms of actionable steps, I would say it's just a matter of doing the reps in. Do 100 things, right? Do 100 social media things. In this case, I don't know, 100 posts. If you want to rank on Google, right? If you want to rank first on Google, let's say, for example, your software is an AI content writer, right? And if you want people to searching for AI content writer on Google to your site, so that your site appears first, right? You're going to have to write blog posts. You're going to have to do SEO to your site, right? That's going to be like a whole video in and of itself, because SEO, search engine optimization, is quite complex. But you have to first write your 100 posts, so you have the chance that Google picks them up and ranks them on the site, right? On Google, right? Cold email. Go out and scrape email lists. You can use Apollo, you can use List, you can use a bunch of stuff to get emails, and then reach out to people. Listen, I have this product that does X, Y, and Z. I figured you should try it. You want me to give you a demo, right? Whatever. Send them a Loom video with that. Friends and family. Tell all your friends and family, right? Tell the friends of your friends. You never know who's in your family that might want to try your product, right? Don't be scared. This is just dumb. Don't do this. It's just a joke. But my point was to show you that there's infinite things you can do. Literally infinite things you can do. And again, the only way you can find which one works is to test every single one of them. Okay. But of course, think about what you're doing. Don't just go out and test things just because. Okay. Think about the stuff you're doing. But again, the most important thing here is just to get started. As anything, and it's super cliche, but it's just to get started. Just start doing the reps. And I can assure you, right, if you, for 100 days straight, 3 months and a half, go out and show up every single day and put the reps in, right? Actually try to find 100 paying users, you will do it. It's not difficult, right? I mean, I'm telling you this, it seems simple. It is simple. But actually it's not difficult at all, right? I can assure you, if you put like 100 straight days into actually going out, waking up, okay, now I'm going to need to find a new user today. It's a user per day, 100 days. I can assure you can find one person per day, because the internet is giant, it's infinite, and there's surely 100 people out there willing to pay for your product. So you want customers for your SaaS business. And today I'm going to show you how you can get your first 100 paying SaaS customers via this thing that's called building in public. I'm going to go over what it means and actual tangible strategies that you can apply to get your first 100 paying customers. So let's break it down. What does building in public mean? Essentially, it's sharing what you're building with consistency. This is a big word here. Just like with anything in life, right? If you're not consistent, it's quite pointless, right? If you go to the gym 2 weeks straight, amazing, you're doing a great job, but then you stop for a week, and then you go back 2 weeks and you stop for a week, it doesn't work, right? You got to go every single day. Same thing with business, same thing with software, same thing with SaaS. If you want to get 100 customers in 100 days, you got to be consistent with it. You got to show up every single day, multiple times. You got to be consistent. Now, this building in public movement essentially boils down to, sharing your progress on social media, right? That's basically it. Now, as you know, there's multiple social media. There's Facebook, right? There's Twitter, which is now called X. There's TikTok, right? There's YouTube. There's LinkedIn, right? And depending on where your target customer is, for example, if you're a B2B SaaS, I recommend going maybe to LinkedIn to share your progress every single day, like document what you're doing. And I'll show you examples after this, right? Document what you're doing, what you're struggling with, incentivize people to comment, right? Write these long posts, right? Literally just working, detailing what you're doing, literally just saying, I did this today, tomorrow I'm going to do this and this and that. I'm facing these issues, hopefully tomorrow those are fixed. Just literally yap, just document with no specific structure, no nothing, just start, right? And might be a little bit intimidating. You might be thinking, man, but what do I share, man? What do I post about? Doesn't matter. The first post is gonna suck. The second post is gonna suck. Third post is gonna suck. 10th post is gonna suck. Eventually, you're gonna start getting better and understanding the algorithms of these platforms, how they work. But there's nothing really that I can say here. I mean, I can like talk about algorithms, talk about how things work, what you should and shouldn't do, but I won't, because the best way to get you to do this, is to actually go out and try it and apply it to your own business. Okay. And let me show you an example, right, to show you that my building in public journey also was awful from the start, right? I think this is one of the very first videos I published. So these are all the shorts I published right here on this channel, and I was actually posting them originally on TikTok, and then I used an application to actually a SaaS to automatically syndicate them to YouTube. Let me show you exactly what I mean by building in public, which is literally documenting the process and how bad it was. So let me just play this. Hopefully there's audio. If not, I'll add it over.
Hey TikTok, how's it going? So this is just a video of my dog to get your attention, but I just want to let you all know that I'm starting a new business. It has nothing to do with dogs, but I'll be documenting and posting my journey here on TikTok. So if you're interested in online businesses, make sure to follow along.
Yeah, awful, okay? I know, awful. But then it got better eventually, right? It got better. Let me show you actually a fair enough example
I'm building a startup and documenting the whole process here on TikTok. The most recent milestone was we found an extremely talented developer, and I want to break down the costs so far. So first, as you know, we bought the domain, which costed us $7.20.
So yeah, basically I was just literally documenting the process, right? And on here, to be fair, there wasn't much engagement, because the engagement, most of it came from TikTok. And honestly, and I've talked about this in the past, I didn't have a VPN at the time, so my account was showing videos to where I was based in, which was Portugal. So I was recording videos in English. They were being shown to an audience in Portuguese, to a Portuguese-based audience, so they weren't getting many views, much traction. But I also syndicated these to Twitter, and I also documented the process on Twitter and some on LinkedIn, right? But the whole thing about this is just start documenting the process. The first ones are going to suck, but you got daily showing up. And also, the good thing about documenting and building in public is that you hold yourself accountable with your own self, because you know, okay, oh fuck, I need to post a video tomorrow, so I need to do some work today. Actually, no, never mind. I need to post a video today of what I did today. So at night I need to post a video of what I did today. So I need to do some work on weekends, on every single day, right? You got to do some work, because people are cheering you on, they're commenting, they're saying good luck, go ahead, anything you need, let me know. So you need to push yourself to post every single day. You're essentially by building in public, you're holding yourself accountable to the people that are seeing your content. And there's no better way of me explaining that, how that feeling goes. You only know when you're actually doing it, okay? Again, note that the building in public can work on any platform: LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, X, Pinterest, I don't know, right? It depends on your SaaS. What I recommend is you try all, right? I started with TikTok, didn't really work, then syndicated to YouTube, didn't really work too. So then I tried Twitter, X, and it kind of worked. I then tried YouTube long form, and also it worked, because I moved from these shorts to actually long form videos on YouTube, which I want, right? I can actually show you, by the way, since we're here, right? I started documenting the process on a weekly basis. So all these videos right here, it's the first one on the basement, started 2 years ago. It's I think, yeah, it's 7 minutes documenting the whole, because then I compiled all the TikToks I recorded and all the footage I had from recording for 1 year. I compiled that into a 7-minute video going over our journey for a year. So people like that. I also shared this on LinkedIn, because I thought, okay, this is a business, a proper montage, quality type of video. So I might also post it on LinkedIn. Got a ton of traction on there too. And when you make these posts, people actually love it. People love to see people try. They don't like to see when you're too successful, which maybe we'll keep that for another video, but they like to see you try. They like to see you make your $1,000, your $10,000. People love to see it. And they'll reach out to you, they'll message you, they'll give you encouragement words, they'll connect you with certain people, right? Putting yourself out there, and putting myself out there was one of the best things I've done ever, because it opened so many doors. Okay, but then again, I was documenting every single week, right? Just me yapping to the camera, right? Talking again, making 1K a week with marketplace business, right? Then I moved to Bali for 3 months, right? I'm not sure where that is. I think this one is Bali. Yeah, this is Bali with my co-founder. So I literally was yapping and documenting the process. Are we taking any money, investors' money? How I'm growing my startup? I was stressed as hell at this time. I had to take a break. The pivoting of the company, how much money we were making. So I was literally documenting by week what we're doing, exactly step by step, right? And so this is what the building in public movement is. I guess we can call it a movement. It's just sharing exactly what you're doing, the highs, the lows, literally everything. And one, it holds yourself accountable. So every day you gotta actually show up, and when you show up, you need to have some work done to actually document, right? Whether that's documenting via writing or video or voice, doesn't really matter. I recommend you do by video, because it's better than that people see your face, right? But second thing is that it opens so many doors, right? And people love to see it. Third, people love to see it, and people encourage you and will push you on. And so again, building in public, first things first is you choose or try every single platform and document the process there. And one of the biggest ones we've done is Twitter. Twitter is great because there's people love the building in public movement on there, because Twitter, in my opinion, a lot of people don't use it, but it's one of the best platforms for entrepreneurs. Second to LinkedIn. Actually, no, LinkedIn sucks because LinkedIn is too superficial, in my opinion, and it's just people licking their own asses. And I prefer Twitter because it's much more real, right? You post something and people tell you what's wrong, right? On LinkedIn, it's not really that way. Maybe I use it wrong, but I prefer Twitter, because also Twitter is filled with tech people, if you know your circles. LinkedIn is filled with not regular people, but people that are necessarily in tech. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe that's my experience, but yeah. This is how you get your first 100 customers, is literally by building in public. This is what we did, right? We built in public. We documented the whole process. Some things go viral, and you get customers off of it. You just keep on going, keep on iterating, keep on climbing the ladder to success. And again, documenting the process is a great way to get your first customers, because people get to know, like, and trust you. You can rapport with them, and that's the best way to get them to buy. Okay, we're here. Like I said, it's going to be a long video, super boring, but 1,000% worth it, okay? So, how to make $2,000+ a day, and if you want to verify this, I mean, you just ask me, with free Google traffic. That is by leveraging free Google search traffic through SEO. Now, SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization. You should know what this is, right? Essentially, when you search for something on Google, right? Results show up, right? And you want to be the first one. If someone searches for, I don't know, buy microphone online, you want to be showing up first so people click your result and they buy from you, right? That's what we call search engine optimization, SEO. You're optimizing for the search engine that is Google, right? That's what SEO means. Essentially, positioning your site higher on Google for different keywords, right? It's a very, very valuable skill, because if you rank first for all of your, let's call them money keywords, you're going to make a lot of money, okay? And so I'm going to break down the exact SEO strategy behind this new brand, this new software I'm building that's responsible for multiple six-figure generated in about 9 months. Now, it's simple. Anyone can understand this. It's not easy because it's not easy to implement. But you should be able to replicate it with some time, right? This is the growth rate right here. And I'll show you here what I'm talking about. This is our growth for the business in terms of traffic, just traffic coming from Google. Now, it is not amazing, but we have to look at two things here. First, we have to look at the growth, exponential growth, since just December last year, which is a couple of months only. And secondly is traffic, right here, the number is a vanity metric, right? And I'll go over in detail why that is, but if all these 320 people are hungry and ready to buy, right, I take this any day of the week than a graph with 1 billion in search traffic per month. This is actually per week, per week, but none of these people buy, right? So the thing here is that you want to be ranking on Google and getting this traffic from Google, right, from the search engine, but for ready-to-buy keywords. And I'll go over what that is in just a second here. So that brings me to my first point right here, which is focus on high buying intent keywords. And for that, I need to give you an example, right? If I give you this example, then you can extrapolate for the software world, okay? Let's say, for example, I have an iPhone repair shop, right? People come into my shop to repair their iPhones, right? And for people to come into my shop, they have first to come to my website, right? They come to my website, right? And they come to my shop, and I repair their iPhones on my shop, my physical store. Now, people can come into my site by searching on Google, for example, for how to repair an iPhone. Let's say I have a website, a blog, and people go on Google, right here, they type in how to repair an iPhone, and my website shows up first or second, and people click it, right? And they go to my site. Or they can come into my site searching, for example, for where to repair an iPhone, or how much does it cost to repair an iPhone. And let's say this keyword, how, has 10,000 searches per month. 10K people search for this, okay? However, the two keywords, where or how much, only have 1,000 searches per month. Now, one might think that, yeah, I'm just going to target this one. I'm just going to rank my site for how to repair an iPhone. But that's not smart. And again, it's the same concept that you need to look at this number as a vanity metric, because it doesn't matter the number, right? What matters is the willingness for them to buy. Because these people here searching for where or how much are much more likely to want to pay someone to fix their iPhone for them. While someone searching for how, right? How to fix an iPhone, most likely we can assume that most of these people want to do it themselves, right? So these people right here have such a larger buying intent. They're more willing to pay someone to do the service for them. And this is very important, right? Because you want to rank your site, right, for high buying intent keywords, right? You want your site to show up only, or most of the times, for keywords where people searching for it want to make an action, want to buy something, a product or a service. And an exercise you can do is you can build out what I call the keyword matrix, where in the y-axis we have what I call BI, which is buying intent, and in the x-axis you have the traffic. And of course, the higher the traffic, the higher the competition for the keyword, right? And once you make the list of your keywords, right, a list of a bunch of keywords you want to rank for, so think about it. Okay, I have this software, I have this issue I solve, people pay me to solve this issue. And so putting myself in my customer's shoes, what would I be searching for on Google to find a solution, in this case, your software, that solves that problem? And then, of course, you get a list of keywords. And if you want more like niche down videos on how to do this, I'll let me know. But once you have all your keywords, you're going to start putting them here, right? In the matrix, right? How if they have high traffic, put them here. If they have low traffic, put them here. If they have high buying intent, put them here. Low buying intent, put them here. And you do not want to go for keywords here, nor here. But you do absolutely want to go for keywords here and here, right? So these two quadrants have, meaning these two quadrants here have high buying intent, in this case high traffic, in this case low traffic. These two right here, this one has low buying intent, low traffic, and this one has low buying intent, high traffic. So it's not smart to go for this. Now, it's not to say that you shouldn't like eventually target keywords here, but you want to make money and get users as fast as possible. That's the whole thing about a business. You want to grow fast, okay? And so you want to go for keywords here and here, right? Keywords with high buying intent. So again, take this example from the iPhone repair shop and try to apply this to your own business. And I'll go over exactly how we're applying this to our own business, to our SaaS. But I like to give you context, right, beforehand, so this all makes sense. So again, a bit of a technical thing right here, but this is super important, right? Go for high buying intent keywords. Focus on keywords where people are ready to buy. And an example of these keywords is my second point here, which is by leveraging your competitors, you can find these high buying intent keywords. How? By building comparison or alternative pages. Now, what does this mean? Let's say, for example, I have a SaaS that's a competitor of Shopify, right? My SaaS, people give me money and I give them a Shopify alternative, okay? Now, what I want to do and what I want to rank my site for is, I'm going to change this right here for a text. I want to rank my site for keywords, for example, like Shopify alternative, right? Best Shopify alternative. Let's do this right here. Affordable Shopify alternative. Faster Shopify. You get my point. Shopify alternative, right? So these keywords, again, are high buying intent keywords. Why? Because people searching for these know what their pain point is because they have already used the competitor of ours, Shopify, and they're actively looking for an alternative, right? So they're in the market to get a new product, right? Best alternative, affordable, right? Pain point, product they already use, and the word that says, okay, I want to find something else. I've tried Shopify, it's not the best for me. Maybe it's too expensive. I want something more affordable, and let me just give you money for this solution, right? Pain point, software they know and use, looking for an alternative, right? So these are the pages you want to build out, right? Make a list of all your competitors, right? And then create alternative pages. Competitor name, right? You can do this right here. So you just do this. Rank for keywords, competitor A plus alternative, right? Do you create pages on this, create blog posts on this, but actually like nail down the blog post, right? Write a full page, right? With a proper H1 title, proper like comparison, why yours better, why theirs worse, right? Feature comparison lists, right? Tables. I won't like bore you with this, but if you want a more in-depth tutorial on this, I can record. But yeah, that's just the gist of it, right? Do and try to rank for these comparison pages because it's so much more valuable to rank for these than for just some random keywords. And yes, these might have like low search volumes, but the people searching for them are hungry to buy, right? You can do like comparison pages, for example, Shopify versus, I don't know, some other competitor, and you plug in your solution in there, right? Because again, people might not be aware of your product because you're just starting out. So if you do Shopify versus, I don't know, WooCommerce or Big Cartel, which was one at the time, right? You target people looking to find either in the market for a solution that's like Shopify and WooCommerce, right, or a big cartel that is a SaaS that helps them build out their store, and you capitalize on the market of people that know these two solutions, and somehow in the blog post you tell them, listen, these are great, but this one, ours, is even better. Try it out for free, right? So again, targeting high buying intent keywords by leveraging your competitors' brands, by building these comparisons or alternative pages, okay? Now, the biggest one here, which is pretty cool, which is something that Canva does, and the way in which they grew their organic traffic through search was insane. It was just thanks to this, Vid.io, a video editing platform, SaaS, which they make like hundreds of millions of dollars a year, I think, probably. Ahrefs, which, I mean, these guys are $1 billion company. If you know SEMrush, they're a publicly traded company, and they're a competitor of Ahrefs, okay, and they are worth $1 billion market cap, right? They're worth $1.94 billion, and I think there's more people using Ahrefs. They are just not public, right? You cannot buy stock from them, but they are direct competitors, right? This $1 billion company, this $100 million company, I think Canva is also a $1 billion company, all use this same thing. And it's crazy, and it's something that we're also applying to our software that you can do too, which is leveraging free tools. Now, what does this mean? Let me go over the one right here for Vid.io, right? If you go to Vid.io, again, there is software you can pay to get to add your videos, add captions to your videos, do a bunch of stuff, right? Remove backgrounds, whatever, right? But as you see here, they have a bunch of these on the /create page, which gets a lot of traffic. They have a bunch of these free tools. Animation Maker, Birthday Video Maker, Business Video Maker, Explainer Video Software, Facebook Video Maker, Highlight Video Maker. So all of these, right, as you can see, are high buying intent keywords, right? Someone searching for Memorial Video Maker is someone that wants to make a video, looking for a thing that helps them make a video for this, let's call it pain point. Meme Maker, Mockup Generator, Montage Maker, right? These are all high buying intent keywords. And the way in which they're satisfying the searcher's intent is through offering these free tools, right? Because it's free, just upload your video, it's free, right? And then of course they upsell you on the service. But if you go here, right, just this page, and actually if you do this, right, all the URLs under the create, so all these tools are under the create URL, as you see here. Any one of these will be under the create subfolder, okay? So all these combined get a whopping just last week, 150,000 people visited these tools, right? And if you go to top pages, you can see here, GIF Maker. All these are, by the way, are the free tools, right? GIF Maker, 32,000 people, right? Last month, 15,000 people for Video Maker, 14,000 people for Professional Business Video Maker, whatever. So all of these are free tools, and they're using the free tools to get people in for free on the pain points their main software offers, right? They get them to try the free version and then upsell them on a paid version. I don't know, maybe to remove the watermark, maybe to do the video in HD, whatever, right? Canva did the exact same thing. If you go here to Canva and you see their traffic, right? The traffic is huge, as you know, right? I mean, they get let's see here, 5.6. They rank for 5.6 million keywords, and almost 300 million in traffic every single month, right? And if you go here to top pages, we will find most certainly. Okay, sorry, never mind. Just need to do this /create, right? This is what where you find all of their free tools as well. They have a bunch of them, like a lot of them. And as you can see, all these ones /create, logos, resumes, AI presentations, photo galleries, CVs, posters, tier lists, GIF Maker, and it gets super niche, right? Wedding invitation vibe video, I guess, email signatures, and all these pages get so much traffic, like millions every single month. Right, and again, it's the same thing. You go here, you try it for free, and then to get extra features, to get the full product suite, you have to pay them. Ahrefs, the exact same thing, and I do want to show you this because I think it's completely worth it because you need to find ways to apply this to your business. Let me just go here down. I actually got it here, tools, right? Let's see here. Let's do this. Ahrefs free tools. Just go here, free tools. This is their free tools page. I mean, they have a bunch of them here. I won't dive deep into this, but they have the same tools right here. All these softwares and a bunch more people do this, right? They leverage free tools that, by design, a free tool, what it does is it ranks for a high buying intent keyword, right? And it lets the searcher test a part of their product for free, right? Or a limited version of their product, in this case too, right? And then once they get introduced to the product for free, they're much more likely to buy, right? And these free tools actually offer value to the user. And we are doing the exact same thing with our software. We do the exact same thing. We offer a sort of free version, a limited version of our software, and we are starting to rank for, as you can see here, for these tool pages of ours are starting to rank for these keywords, okay? And so that's super powerful. Now, one thing I do have to mention is that there's a bunch more stuff that goes into all this, right? By the way, there's a lot of nuance here. This is just like a 10, 20-minute video on how to do this. It is super simple. I mean, I just explained this to you. You understood it. Now, there's a lot of nuance to it on how to create the pages, what to say in them, what not to say, how to link them. There's so much that goes into this, right? There's so much that goes into SEO, search engine optimization. And I've been doing this for years now. I've been doing optimizing and ranking sites on Google for a long time now. So this is why it's easy for me. But I'll try to make more videos on breaking down these exact SEO strategies. And hopefully this was a good introduction on how these guys are doing it and how you can do it too. Again, it's all about focusing on high buying intent keywords. Don't really focus on traffic. These are like vanity metrics. Focus on quality traffic. Focus on traffic that's ready to buy, okay? Go out and do this exercise for your own business and build out your keyword matrix. And then, yeah, let's get to make some money. So how do I grow a SaaS or software as a service business with YouTube? It's essentially by leveraging YouTube search engines with SEO. And we're going to go over the theory, and also I'm going to show you the actual practice and give you live examples of exactly what I did and the businesses I grew step by step. So stay tuned. First things first is SEO, and SEO stands for search engine optimization. Or for the ones that don't know, essentially when you are on Google, right? This is Google. When you search for something, let's say buy a dog online, right? A bunch of different results pop up, right? And of course, the person with the site that's up top, they get the most clicks, and eventually they make the most sales. So you want your site to show up first, and the optimization to get it up is called SEO, which stands for search engine optimization. Google being the search engine, and you're optimizing the results to rank first. Now, if you want a video on how to do SEO, I have a bunch of them. I'll link them down below. If I forget, let me know. But yeah, now the thing is that SEO is not just about Google, right? Google is mostly written SEO. So when you search for something, usually it's text-based results that you click and show up, right? However, YouTube is the second biggest search engine in the world, right? And it can also be quote-unquote SEO. This is called video SEO because just like Google, right, this is YouTube. YouTube is essentially also a search engine. You go on YouTube's homepage and there's a search bar and the results are just a bunch of videos. And so if you can have your videos optimized and rank for a certain keyword right here, let's say buy dogs online, whatever, and your video shows first, right, it's going to get more clicks, thus more sales to your product, okay? So hopefully you're still with me here, right? Of course, before you record any videos, before you try to optimize anything, you have to have something to sell, right? In my case, I built a two-sided marketplace where people list their services for sale. I'll go over exactly what this is, but this is this business right here, right? It was a two-sided marketplace. Think Airbnb, think Amazon. Yeah, let's say Airbnb, right? Airbnb, you can go there, you can list your house, or you can rent a house. So it's a two-sided marketplace, and yeah, that's basically it, right? That's what my business was, but for services, okay? And I'll show you the URL in just a second here. So a way in which you can drive traffic in the way I grew the business, which was this right here, which I already sold, right? As you see, it has all these listings right here, right? And a way in which I wanted to promote it was to, I needed to market those listings for people, right? Because yeah, people would list their services here, but me as the marketplace owner, as the software owner, I needed and I wanted to grow this faster by bringing traffic to the site, right? And here's how I did it, right? Here's how I did that. I leveraged SEO in specific on YouTube to record videos on how to do what people are selling in the listings. I recorded long form tutorials, and then in the end, I told them, listen, you can do this yourself, or you can just hire this guy to do it. Let me give you an example. For example, this guy right here, how to make a Wikipedia page. He sells a service for $500 on how to make Wikipedia pages. And you can go here and you can actually pay him $600 or $500 for him to make a Wikipedia page for you, or Wikipedia page for you or for your business. Now what I did was I made a YouTube video titled how to make a Wikipedia page, how to make a Wikipedia page. And I ranked first for that. So it was posted a year ago as 111,000, and I look so weird. I don't blink in this video, by the way. People even commented because I was reading off of a script, and people commented that I wasn't blinking, which fair enough. But yeah, basically this video, right, I made it so I wanted to drive traffic to this listing. So I made a video saying how to make a Wikipedia page. And on this video, I go over exactly how anyone can make a Wikipedia page. It's a boring video, but it's like a 10-minute video and you over how to do it step by step, step by step. And at the end, there's a call to action saying, listen, Yes, you can do all this yourself manually, or you can just hire this guy on here, which I'll link in the description, to do it for you. And I'll link to the service right here, this service right here, how to make a Wikipedia page, right? And that's how I was able, to drive traffic from YouTube to the software or my product, right? And this video gets till this day 300 views every single day, right? You see here, if you do the since uploaded, right, it has 113,000 views, right? It's growing, right? It gets every single day, the last 7 days, 338 views, 300 views, around 300 views a day, passively, without me having to do a single thing, right? That's the beauty of SEO. That's the beauty of search engine optimization. You record the video once. This was recorded more than a year ago, and till this bringing traffic to this business. Now, I no longer own this business, but it's still bringing traffic to it, which is good, right, for them. Now, there's more examples of this too, but I'll show you in a second here what they are. So again, then I'd rank the videos number one on YouTube and get a lot of views on them. If you don't know how I rank YouTube videos, let me know in the comments, because it's quite a lengthy process, but maybe I'll do a video on that. But let me know if you want to see this. And because these videos were evergreen, they'll get views forever, literally, right? And they, like I said, this one still gets around 300 views per day and drives a ton of sales to the listing on that marketplace, right? So this is the whole gist of it, right? But I want to show you more examples, because this is what I did for this, right? I used to record views for every single service listed on the marketplace. I'll tell people, listen, you can do, and I'll show them, for example, right here, how to build, this guy sells niche edits, backlinks, right? It's a technical SEO stuff, doesn't really matter, right? I would show people how to do it, then I'll tell them, listen, yeah, you can just do it yourself, or you can just pay this guy $90 to do it for you, right? And I did it for all this, and that's was the main driver to grow this from zero to over $300,000, right? That was the main driver. Now, for my new business, for the software business, which is a SaaS, right, I applied the same principles, right? Here's what I did, right? I have this branded YouTube channel called Journalist AI, which is the name of the software, right? And I posted videos, I posted over and over. I think there's 400 plus videos here, right? And the concept was the same. It was simple, right? I wanted to rank for videos and get the traffic to the site and make the site money, right? Pretty simple. Now, the thing is that it's not always where you can make a video hit, right? Make a video evergreen, because a video that's evergreen is a video that gets used forever. However, I'll show you an example here of one that was evergreen, right? This one is for the Wikipedia page, but if I go here and type in, for example, Autoblog, which is one of the features of our software, this video right here, a shitty 4-minute video, was posted a long time ago, and still, till this day, it gets 80 to 90 views per day, right? And this, again, is an evergreen video. So, for example, this, I won't dive too deep into this because it's a bit boring, but essentially the keywords this video ranks for are money keywords. So people searching for these keywords on YouTube and watching this video, they want to find a software to help them do this. For example, this is for an auto blogging software, a software that automatically writes and publishes content to your blog. And our software that I'm promoting in the description of this video does exactly that. So if I go here, again, I have the link to the software. Right? Again, the principle is the exact same. Recording videos on YouTube and making sure they're evergreen so that they get views forever. And these essentially become little assets, right? Because you have all of these videos, right? You have all of these little videos right here. Let me just go here. You have all of these video assets, right? Ranking on YouTube, right? All driving traffic to your business, making you a ton of money. And these videos, if they're done well, will get views, quote unquote, forever, or at least until people lose interest in those certain search queries. Hopefully this is making sense so far. And also, I do want to show you something right here. For this other YouTube channel, right, if you go here to channel analytics, you'll see that most of the views come from YouTube search, right? Meaning, so the videos that I try to create on this channel, I try to optimize them for YouTube search. Not for browse, not for all that, because browse is when you're browsing YouTube and a recommended video shows up. I don't know, a MrBeast video, whatever. Those are good too to get views, good views, but I wanted to optimize for YouTube search views. And this right here means that most of my views, in fact, 45%, come from people typing something, and my video ranks first or second or third for that keyword, right? And I'm able to satisfy the search intent of the keyword they're searching for. And because the video is done well and I target the right keywords, money keywords, I can drive the traffic from that video to the softwares and to grow my businesses like clockwork, again, which I've done over and over again. I mean, 2 times, one here and twice here. And any other software that I start, I will do the same. right? If YouTube is not around, I'll do it on another platform. Most likely YouTube will still be around, but this is exactly what I did, right? This is how I grew my SaaS business to multiple 7 figures with SEO by leveraging YouTube search engine, right? Okay guys, so we are here, how to make $1,000 per day with SaaS without literally doing any marketing. And it's basically by leveraging affiliate marketing, basically by leveraging other people to do the marketing for you, right? So you're indirectly doing marketing, okay? You are not the one doing it, you're paying someone else, you're outsourcing the marketing to people who know how to do it maybe better than you, okay? And yeah, these exact people right here are the ones doing marketing for you. This lady right here, this guy right here will be doing the marketing for you. No, just kidding. But yeah, that's basically it. It is a quite simple concept to grasp, right? Pretty simple to understand, right? Pay someone to do the marketing for you. Now, I want to break down exactly what this entails, right? And how you can get it done starting not tomorrow, but today. Okay, so the very first thing, and by the way, how to make $1,000 a day. I've shown proof in my last videos that we do make this and more than this. If you need proof, comment and I'll send you some links. Or if you need further proof or want me to show screenshots, just go to my last video and I'll show you exactly. I think I start the video with saying, look, these screenshots. So yeah, I don't have anything to hide. I'm pretty open with how much money we make. So yeah, if you don't believe me, I don't know. But yeah, let's get it going. So first things first is to, again, finding people and having these guys promote the product for you, right? You want these guys to make noise, right? And sell the product for you, right? They're going to make you money, right? They're going to make you a lot of money, right? But then of course, the price you pay is, because this goes for you, right? The price you pay is you give them part of it, right? You give them a commission, okay? So part of the bulk, I guess, this money, part of them goes to them, right? And the rest goes to your bank account, okay? Again, affiliate marketing, just like any other marketing strategy, is something that you have to invest money in, okay? Ads, you invest money in. SEO, you invest money in. Like any single thing, you invest money in, okay? So the very first thing is, how can you find these people? Again, pretty straightforward is to reach out to affiliates directly. Let me give you an example. Let's say, for example, your audience is on YouTube, right? And you have a lot of content creators. Let's say these guys are all YouTubers right here, right? You have a lot of them on YouTube producing a bunch of videos, right? That you think would be a great place to place an ad, either inside a video or maybe they record a dedicated video showing off your product, showing off your SaaS, sorry. And what you do is you just reach out to them, email them, DM them, leave it down below in the comments. Because if you just email them and forget about it, I mean, most likely they won't see it because they get a ton of emails. I do also get a ton of emails for sponsors. Most of them I just ignore. DM them too if you find their socials on Twitter, LinkedIn, DM them. Actually bother them, right? Because if you're going out of your way to, okay, you want to start an affiliate marketing strategy, right? And you're looking for creators, you're finding all the creators, and you just send them an email, it's quite dumb, right? You want to make sure that if you're committing yourself to doing this, that you can do it all the way. Otherwise, it's done. So email them, DM them, leave them a comment in the video. I actually found an affiliate, excuse me, an affiliate marketer, doing this. Just left a comment on the video saying, "Listen, great video. Can I sponsor a video of yours?" And they saw it, and we started exchanging emails, right? I mean, I had sent an email before, but I felt like, and I still think like the comment made it so that they replied to the email. Okay. And of course, if you have some personal brand or connections, leverage them, okay? For example, I have not a big Twitter following, but I know that if I DM someone on there because I have the verified check, they're much more likely to open it. So if you have a brand, a personal brand of some size, on LinkedIn, YouTube, whatever, we'll try and leverage that, okay? Now, with email, one thing that's very important here is that you gotta, and you need to, and I might record a video solely on this in a couple of weeks, is you need to send them emails over and over again, and either until they reply or they say, fuck off, okay? That's the strategy, right? Bother them, right? Really, really bother them, because that's the strategy we've been implementing and it was great, because every time I send just one email, no reply. 2 emails, I start getting some replies. On the 3rd email, most people reply. On the 4th, I have a guy I had to send 8 emails for him to reply, and he became an affiliate. And I can go over the copy of the emails. It's quite straightforward. If you want me to record a video on that and show you my actual emails, let me know down below in the comments. But it's very important that when you reach out directly to these guys, because they get a ton of emails, they get a shit ton of emails every day. I know because I get them too. Follow up over and over again until they say no or yes. Until they say basically yes or fuck off, okay? And then you can discuss pricing and all that. And I can record a video based on pricing, but basically this all boils down to knowing how much a customer is worth to you and paying these guys less than what the customer is worth. But I'll dive deep into that later on. Now, excuse me, something else is that you should leverage your customer list. If your SaaS already has customers, reach out to them. This is something we do, we've done in the past, is these people are already paying you. They're happy with your service, otherwise they'd stop paying you. And if you reach out to them and talk to them and ask them if they know someone, or if they want to, maybe if they have a following, ideally you take your existing customer list, go put it on a spreadsheet and find the ones who have personal brands. I mean, a personal brand could be like 100 Twitter followers, could be 20 YouTube subscribers, could be 1,000 Instagram followers, not that much, right? But it is people, right? And if you can leverage these people and ask them if they want to become an affiliate, some of them will say yes, most of them will say no, but again, it's another way to find people. And this works well specifically if there aren't many affiliates in your space or many content creators in your space. For example, let's say again, you think most of your customers will come from YouTube, but there's not enough good enough YouTubers or ones that you feel like you can afford, right? Just go to your current customer list. Simple, okay? Let's keep going. So that's the very first thing. Actively reaching out to them. When you find someone you want to promote your product, reach out to them over and over again until they say no, okay? Then, the second way is organically have affiliates promote for you without you reaching out. So let's say on your website, right? Excuse me, on the footer you have affiliate program. People click it and they see your affiliate landing page, they sign up, and then they get a link and they start sharing the link everywhere on the internet, right? This is the organic way, right? Organically finding affiliates to promote without you reaching out. So people find the affiliate program by themselves and they actively promote it by themselves, okay? Now for this to work, you have to have a great affiliate program. For example, 30% recurring commission lifetime, right? This is the bare minimum, okay? This is wrong right here, you don't pay them, right? They produce content, right? It's all about making noise, right? They produce content, whether that's for their email list, or for a YouTube video long form, TikTok, a reel, a story post on Instagram, a tweet, a LinkedIn post, a blog post, right? The goal here is that these affiliates are making noise for you. And noise, as I've said before in other videos, noise is just making marketing. And marketing is infinite. You can do infinite things. You can go on Pinterest, you can go out and put flyers on the walls. You can do anything, right? Marketing is infinite. So what you do is you have a fantastic affiliate program, bare minimum this, otherwise it won't work, or otherwise it can work. You can have some affiliates, but they won't be incentivized enough to actually make quality noise to get you to make your affiliate program an actual success, okay? So basically the thing right here is make sure that your program is fantastic and it is a no-brainer, right? I go to the site, I see, 90%, okay, 90 is too much, but maybe 50% recurring commission for life. This is fantastic. I'm going to promote these guys. I'm going to send an email to my email list. I'm going to post it on Twitter every couple of months, right? Gotta make it like super, super enticing, because that's the only way you're going to have organic affiliates come up, okay? Now, you might say that's too high. No, it's not, right? 30% is the bare minimum. It's not too high. And you can check the benchmarks for your competitors in your industry and try and one-up them a bit. But it's not too high because without the affiliate, you would have made zero, right? Without the guy promoting the product for you, right, and having 30%, you getting the other 70%, you would have made zero, right? So you're essentially paying to acquire customers, right? And if the value, as I said before, if the value of the customer is higher than what the cost is to acquire, you're literally printing money. Okay, so don't think this is too high. Even if this were 80%, which might be too high, but for this example's sake, even if this were 80%, right? If you were paying them 80% recurring lifetime, but the LTV, the return you'd get on that payment was higher, doesn't matter. You're still printing money. Okay, so get that into your head. It was hard for me to get this into my head, but it's important, okay? Now, one thing also is that most people don't even click affiliate links. So, for example, let's say you pay someone to make a LinkedIn post or a YouTube video about your SaaS, right? And they talk about it, this is amazing, and they say, listen guys, to support the channel, click the link down below in the description, use my affiliate link. Most people won't do it. Most people just open a new tab, go on Google and type in the SaaS name and do it that way, right? So you're still getting traffic not affiliated, right? And so that's why a lot of affiliates, not most, but a lot of them ask for a fixed amount on top of the commission, okay, to prevent this, because they'll know that some people will go their ways to not click the link. Okay, so this is good for you to some extent, right? Now, one thing I need to hammer at home is that, remember, people buy from people all the time, right? pages from brands, it's not that they're cringe, but you feel much less connected with them, sorry, right? You feel much more connected when someone, let's say a person is promoting, I don't know, a microphone, right? Like this one right here, than when the brand of the microphone is promoting it, because they're biased, right? The brand is biased. The brand is just trying to sell me stuff. I don't want to buy your stuff. When it's a person, right, a human saying, "Listen, I like this mic, buy it," you're much more likely to buy. People buy from people all the time. Okay. The reason why this is important is that the future of B2B SaaS is owned audiences and parasocial relationships. This was a guy I really like to hear called JH, not Shrek, but Shark, which I really agree with, right? Own audiences being, for example, having an email list over a YouTube channel, because with YouTube, with social media, you're always reliant on the algorithms, right? Even with ads, you're reliant on your accounts not being banned. With an email list, you got their emails, right? You got all the emails of all the customers or potential customers. You can reach out to them and you can contact them whenever you want, or via email, or if you have their phone numbers, SMS. So own audiences are super important. Having your own customer list that you can reach out every single time whenever you want. Because, for example, on YouTube, let's say 1,000 people subscribe to you. When you publish a new video, those 1,000 people will not get the notification. Like maybe 100 of them will get the notification. So even though you have like the subscribers, they will not necessarily see that you just posted a new video, right? So, for example, we can apply this to the affiliate. I think, in my opinion, and you, excuse me, you need to test this for your own SaaS, having someone promote this service, excuse me, a link to your SaaS on an email list can be much more valuable than, for example, promoting it to their 100,000 subscriber audience on YouTube, because most of them will not see it. And on the email list, most likely a lot of them will see it. And again, this is a bit of a broad thing, but just test it out. There's a bunch of things you can do to test it out, okay? Now, what this means in other words is you have to build a personal brand and funnel people to the email list. Basically it. Now, you don't necessarily have to build a personal brand if you don't want to, but leverage other people's personal brands, right? In case of the affiliate, you're leveraging other people's personal brands, right? Because again, people buy from people, right? This is somewhat simple, but hopefully it's making sense. Again, simple, not easy. But this is basically how you make money. In fact, this is how I've made most of my money. It was off of a personal brand and building this parasocial relationship ethically, of course, and owning my audience, having the ability to reach out to them whenever I wanted to, okay? Now, quick example. Let's say I have a big YouTube channel. I have a big email list. I have a huge following on X or LinkedIn that took me years to build. Took me years to gain my followers' trust. Two things. One, I wouldn't promote a shit product. So make sure your product is good. And by now, if you're doing affiliate marketing, most likely your product should be decent. You should have some product market fit already. But make sure your product actually solves a problem and it's decent. Otherwise, nobody will really want to promote it because it's weird, it's shady. For example, it might be a bit of a tangent here, but for gambling, not SaaS, but for gambling services, right? A lot of creators don't want to promote that because it feels weird, it feels iffy. And that can also apply to your SaaS. So make sure your product is actually decent and you solve an actual problem, okay? I'll give you an example. For example, there's a bunch of SaaS right now called AI GPT girlfriends, or SaaS that can allow you to generate like these pornographic style images of AI girlfriends. And sure, I guess there's a market for it, but promoting sex stuff, gambling and all that, like weed and all that, is difficult because not a lot of people are open to doing it because it's taboo, right? Now you might think what you want about that, but it is what it is. So again, make sure that your product isn't shit or not that controversial. And then I wouldn't promote it if it were something where the ROI was negative for the effort I put in, right? For example, I'll give an example. I receive a ton of emails of people wanting me to promote their SaaS, and they say, listen, we promote our SaaS, we'll give you, 40% recurring commission and $100, right? That's not worth my time. I mean, if you were, for example, on a tweet, maybe, but for a video, that's not worth my time. So take this into account when reaching out. I know this is the organic part, this should be up there, but when reaching out to people, right, take into account that the audience you're wanting to advertise to took them years to build, right? Not just the number you see of subscribers or email subscribers or whatever, but the trust, right, the people on those lists have with the person you're trying to promote your product. Take that into account, otherwise you're going to offend people. And by offend, you'll just burn bridges and you won't be able to promote to their audience, okay? Now, finally, one last thing is referrals. It's basically leveraging existing customers and just ask, right? Hey, you've been using our product. Do you have anyone else you might think would like to use it? If so, we'll give you a month free, 2 months free, 6 months free, the year free. I don't know. Again, it will all depend on the LTV of the customer. Okay, and most of them will want to help you because they're already paying for it, for your service. Sorry, I'm speaking a bit too fast. But most of them will want to help you because they're already paying for your service, right? And why not? It's quite simple. Just send an email to a friend, or if you know someone, like if they know someone, they just send them an email, send them a tweet, send them a message, whatever. And again, make sure the offer is irresistible. Okay, don't just say, listen, refer us to your friends and we'll give you $10. No, give them 2 months free, 5 months free, right? Give them more credits. Make it super enticing. Otherwise, they won't do it. Okay. So do that. And side note, be aware of affiliates betting on your own branded keywords for ads. We had some people doing this, so they were using our brand keywords, right? And they were betting them, and they were paying money to show up on Google Ads on search for our brand. So the ads would appear, and then our brand would appear, and they were getting clicked for our brand name and making money off of the affiliates. Make sure that you make that like not illegal, but against your terms and conditions. Because people will do it, and there's not really no way to stop them unless you bid higher than them, and then it becomes a bid war and just spend money. So if you see some affiliates of yours doing that, just ban them, okay? Because that's bad for you. So that's basically it. Hopefully this was valuable, right? That's how you make money without doing any marketing, in the sense that you're not the one doing it, you're just behind the scenes as a puppet master, like mastering where you allocate your money to which email list you're going to sponsor, which videos, YouTube videos you're going to sponsor, which LinkedIn creators you're going to sponsor. If you make a blog post on these guys' famous blog and with a link to your SaaS, right? You're just mastering behind the scenes, you're puppeteering all these people, and you're building this affiliate marketing machine, which can be very powerful because, again, the incentive is very good, right? And if you make incentives very good, people will want to promote your stuff. Right. Choose a medium of communication, right? Super, super important, because remember, you want to do it for free, right? Solely with organic traffic. Now, there's 3 mediums of communication, essentially: written, audio, or video. Now, written is SEO, building out a blog, right? And writing blog posts about your software every single day to get them to rank on Google for certain keywords, so people will search for those keywords, click your link, read your blog, get introduced to your product, and you can they get introduced to your brand that way, and you can either collect their email, retarget them, and all that. And that's the way to get traffic in. Then newsletter, right? If you have some emails, right, build a newsletter. Even if you don't have any emails, you can start building a newsletter and syndicating newsletter emails, adapting them, and posting them to your blog, right? Now, a way you can grow this newsletter is through Twitter, right? And Twitter is also a medium of written communication, right? Now, there's many more, but these were what worked for us and what we're doing at the moment, right? SEO, this is a long-term play. Newsletter, you can start this from the get-go. Even if you have one email, you can get that person on and nurture them until they buy, and leverage Twitter as a written form, as a written social to get things going. Then audio. Podcasts, right? You can post a podcast in any single Spotify, Apple Music, or whatever. I don't recommend you do this because there's virtually no discoverability. If you're doing a podcast, do a video cast, I guess you can call it as, and post it on YouTube, because video form, YouTube, TikTok, Insta, there's high discoverability, right? These platforms recommend content to you. There's nobody searching on Shopify or Apple Podcasts frequently, and a podcast shows up and they're, I'm going to spend 1 hour to see if I like this podcast. It doesn't work like that, right? And with video content, you can maybe have your podcast snippets in short form content and post them through all these mediums right here. I'm sure you know about all that. But yeah, video, YouTube, TikTok, and high discoverability. I do recommend you do this. And we've been going hard on YouTube. And this is related with the next step right here, which I've hidden on purpose so you get to watch the video till the end. So if I'm able to do this. Number 2, produce content every day, right? Because the reality is that you don't have time to wait, right? You have to have a sense of urgency, right? And the best way to create this sense of urgency is look at your competitors, because if you're building a software, most likely you're going to have competitors. Look at the competition and see what they're doing. How many videos are they posting a week? Are they posting 5 videos a week? You post 10, right? Are they writing 5 blog posts a week? You post 20. Post more than them. Bury them in content, right? Even post content about them. And this is something we're doing, right? We're publishing content about our competitors' software better than their own content. For example, a simple way to do this is just to post why X, right? Why my software X is better than a competitor, right? This is a great way to leverage the competition to get traffic on your site. But again, it's a number, it's all about math, right? The more content you produce, the higher your chances are to being found. And in today's world, it's an attention-based world, right? You got to do something, you got to do some noise. The more noise you make, right? That's noise right here. The higher, that's the probability here, the probability of succeeding. Now, it's not guaranteed that by making a ton of noise, you'll succeed, but it's more likely that you do, right? So super important, produce as much content as you can. Video, audio, again, choose a medium of communication. You don't know these three, right? Audio, written or video. I'd recommend you choose video, honestly, because it's the fastest, right? Because written takes time, right? Takes time. I recommend video. We started with video and written, but I do recommend you just choose one. And then post a bundle of content, right? You don't have time to wait. Post as much content as you can, because that's the only way people are going to find you, right? Because with ads, you can put money in, let's say Facebook ads, and they will do the distribution for you, right? As long as you keep giving them money, they will distribute your content to the whole world, right? With organic, you post one video, it's distributed to some people, right? If you don't post any other video, right, this one eventually will die out, right? It's not going to be constantly pushing out the video to new people. With ads, it is, because you're sending money to the platform. They're going to be essentially blessing your content as long as you keep giving the money to new people. If you just post one video, it's going to be pushed out and then it's going to die out. So you got to post 1,000 videos, right? That's 1,000. So constantly getting content pushed out. That's the issue with organic, is you got to constantly be feeding the machine with new content. With ads, you feed it with money. With organic, you feed it with new content, right? That's the only way to succeed with organic, right? Then moving on to number 3, don't try all channels at once. That's a big mistake, because you will fail by not optimizing. Because if you're trying Pinterest, if you're trying Instagram, if you're trying YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, SEO, a podcast, all of these work, right? The reality is that all of these can work, right? Again, all these can work. The issue is that if you try every single one of these, you're not going to have time to optimize and to learn how each one of these platforms work, because YouTube is extremely different than TikTok. Even Instagram Reels are very different than TikTok Reels. TikToks, right? Because the culture on the platform is different. The audience there is different. The mannerisms, the way you need to speak, the way you need to come across, it's very different. Pinterest as well, all these are super different from each other. So don't commit the mistake of trying to target all of these at once, because you might think, well, I'm just going to post to every single social platform. That's the best way to get more eyeballs across my content. Yes and no. If you have a big team, do go ahead. Have a single person focus in each one of these. But most likely, if you're watching this video, you don't have a big team. So just focus on one or two, right? Don't try them all at once. Trust me, you'll fail, because you just don't have time, right? You just don't have time to optimize for all these channels. You're going to flop and it's going to suck. So just focus on one or two, right? Right now, we're focusing on YouTube. We're heavy on YouTube, a branded YouTube channel, and heavy on Twitter. And we're also focusing on SEO, right? Then, number 4, see what works, then double down, triple down. Now, I've tried all of these ones. Not all. I didn't try Pinterest, because for what we're building doesn't really make sense. It could make sense. I mean, I could make some sense of it, because in reality, you can make some sense of any of these platforms, any of these mediums. But I didn't. I tried most of these ones, and I saw that YouTube was working best. So I doubled down on YouTube. I would never, right, if YouTube worked, I would never, okay, YouTube works, let me just now be starting Instagram. It doesn't work like that, right? You got to double down and then triple down on what's working, right? That's the only way, right? Because you got to first try every channel, right? I mean, I say don't try all at once. I mean, I say try them first, right? All of them, see which one gets better traction, then eliminate all the others, and then double and triple down on the ones that are working, right? Because you got to try them all at first at some point. Don't try them all at once. Maybe try 3 at a time or 2 at a time, but then kill all the other ones and triple down on what's working. That's the only way, right? That's the only way. And I'm speaking from experience here. And then number 5, like I said before, organic isn't scalable. Or I mean, organic is scalable to only a certain point, right? Because there's only so much, because eventually you're going to exhaust these, right? Eventually you're going to exhaust YouTube and you're moving on to SEO or to Instagram. Eventually you're going to exhaust all these channels. Now it's going to take a lot of time, and exhausting a channel is extremely hard. We're not even close to doing so. But eventually we're going to have to start paid ads, right? And I do feel like we've exhausted to some extent Twitter. That's why we've started doing paid ads. I'll do a video on this because this seems simple, but it's not simple at all, right? It's not just running an ad to your landing page and then people buy your product, right? Not at all. You got to have nurturing funnels, email sequences to get people to know your brand, know, like, and trust you. And then eventually maybe they will buy, right? So it's not just a straight line. It's a very loopy line. But yeah, maybe I'll do a bit more advanced video on this. So yeah, this is exactly what we're doing, right? This is exactly what we've done to get to this point in terms of organic, right? Focusing head down on Twitter, focusing on YouTube. And yeah, we focus on SEO, but no clients have come from SEO so far. And what you're going to learn is that word of mouth is a very, very big growth driver, right? Because for every client you get, and if you have the emails correctly set up and a referral system, affiliate system, people are going to start referring you to other people, to their friends. And that's also a big driver of growth, right? But again, hopefully this was, because I don't want to make these videos super long because I think they're boring. If you want to see more of this and be more specific, let me know. Just comment down below and I'll try and go a bit more in depth in each one of these. But essentially to recap, if you want to grow organic, just know that there's a cap, right? You can't grow. Most likely we won't be able to grow to $100,000 a month with organic. I mean, it's going to be very, very hard, maybe impossible. So that's why we're diversifying now and starting paid ads to see, right? To test, because it's all about testing with marketing, right? See what works, see what doesn't. I've spoken about this in the past videos, that you got to test all this different stuff. When I say don't try all channels at once, I'm saying don't manage them all at once. Try them all, right? Then see what works and then just focus on a few, because all of them will work, some more, some less. Just focus on what the ones that work more. And also, the biggest thing here is that if you're going through organic, you got to show your face. You got to do what I'm doing right here, right? Because people buy from people, right? So you need to come off as trustworthy, right? You need to build rapport. You need to build trust with people. That's the only way they're going to buy. If you have a B2C product, right, business to consumer, or a business to business product, doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, in corporations, there are people, and these are just people. So people will always buy from people. Okay, so that's done. In this one, I want to speak about more of the boring technical stuff, from startup grants to tracking, how to track users from all the sources that you're marketing on. Also, I want to speak about hiring team members. So all this boring stuff that, again, it's very important when you're building a business, because you're not just building a side project. A SaaS, a software business, is a tangible business. So all this little boring stuff is important. So I want to cover it. I want to make sure that you guys go over it. Also LTDs, lifetime values, and a bunch more boring stuff, which, I mean, for me, it's not boring. But yeah, I wanted to speak about all that because I think it's very important. So let's jump in. I want to go over why hiring expensive people is 100 times better than hiring cheap. Now, this might seem cliche, and yeah, of course, hiring someone that's more expensive, that's better, it makes more sense because they're better. And so why would I hire cheaper people if they do less of a good work? That was awful. But it makes sense, right? And oftentimes we know it makes sense, but we still go for the $5 an hour, or when I say 5, can be 10, 15, 20, instead of going for the $100 an hour person, right? Whether that's for a developer, a marketing person, a project manager, whatever, right? We oftentimes tend to think, man, it's a pain in the ass. I have to hire someone that's $100 an hour or 10 times more expensive than someone that looks as if they can do the same job, but the reality is that they can't, right? They can't. And I have some hidden things here which I want to go over, which I think make my point come across better. Because with a company, you cannot do things alone. I mean, you can go fast alone, but if you want to go further, you have to get a team, right? That's the only way you go further. By further, I mean making more money. And that's why you need to focus on the team, because you have 3 things in business: product, marketing, and team, essentially. And we can argue that marketing is more important than product, because I've argued about this in the past, and I've proven, quote unquote, proven that you can have a shit product, but if you sell it well and if the marketing is good or better, you can sell more product. But if you have an amazing product and zero marketing, so nobody knows about your product, you're going to make $0, right? So that's why marketing is more important than product. But more important than these two is the team, right? Team is super important. Hire killers, hire people that know and are the little best at what they're doing. Why am I saying this? Because I made the mistake of trying to put people in places that I felt could do the job when I knew there were more qualified people that I just had to pay a bit more, but I was cheap and I didn't want to pay them. And what ends up happening is that things fall apart, things break, and things end up taking more time. So for example, a task that someone that was charging $1,000 an hour, that's okay, $100 an hour, would complete in 3 hours. Someone that's charging $50 an hour, which I mean it's 50% off, right, takes 8 hours. So we end up paying more, right? We end up paying more and it takes more time, right? And the thing is that you can pivot your product, right? If things go wrong with product, you can just change it around, pivot the product. It's easy or just simple. And you can change your marketing strategies. But it's really hard to fix things done by cheap labor. It's extremely hard to hire again, especially if the hire has a lot of responsibilities. For example, let's say you hire a developer to build whatever it is that you're building. And he's decent, right? He's okay. But now you want to grow more. You want to make the product even better. And he's taking so much time coding things. Things break all the time. And you are forced to hire a new, better developer. The pain in the ass that it is to make the new or have the new developer learn the code, or I guess if you make it more broad, learn the intricacies of your business takes so much time, right? Passing the carrot to the new person, the new hire, right? Because this one sucks and you want a better one that's faster, more optimized, more expensive. This process takes so much time. That's why hiring people is an industry worth billions, right? You have recruiters for talent. I mean, those annoying people on LinkedIn that message you all the time, those people and the companies those people work for make hundreds of millions a year, because hiring is so time consuming and so hard, because finding amazing talent and placing that talent inside the companies, firstly, finding talent is expensive. Hiring the talent is more expensive, but placing the talent inside of those companies takes so much time because you got to teach them, right? And you're spending time teaching the new hires that you're not growing the business. So the time which you should have spent growing the business, you're focusing on training hires. And why would you want to spend time or waste time training someone that's worth $50 an hour when you know that you need to hire the person doing 100, because that's how you grow the team, that's how you grow the business, right? You need killers. You need people that know exactly what they're doing. And also, a great team can overcome a shitty product, but a shitty product cannot beat a great team, right? And so hopefully this makes sense in your mind. I know it makes sense in mine. And finally, cheap labor works for tasks that don't require brain power. So if you want, you could of course hire shitty labor, $5 an hour labor for shitty tasks, right? Maybe posting on social media. I don't know, stuff that anyone can do that doesn't require any brain power, that essentially will be replaced by robots. But for tasks that mess with your business and you know that are essential for your business and will take you to the next level, don't be cheap. Hire a team of killers. Power up and partner up with people that are the best at what they do. Because a great team can overcome a shitty product, but a shitty product can't beat a great team. So hopefully this makes sense. And hopefully when you're making your next hire, when you're just maybe hiring a contractor or paying someone for something, you should have at least a couple of options. The most expensive, the cheapest one. Usually people go for the middle one. Try to go maybe not for the most expensive one, but the one right after, because trust me, it's going to be worth it. And it's amazing when you work with smart people. Surround yourself with smarter people. This is super cliche, I know, but you guys surround yourself with smarter people than yourself, right? Be the dumbest person in the room. Another cliche, but it's true, right? It's cliche for a reason because it's true. So hire people smarter than you, hire the best in the best, and you're going to grow faster, and it's going to be pretty cool. I get this question a lot. People that are technical, people that know how to actually code and build software, don't know how to market their product, and they ask me, hey, Vasco, how do I, as a technical founder, as the guy that's coding, actually market my product? And I don't think my answer should be about strategies, even though I have them here on YouTube. I think it should be more that deep or deeper. And I want to go over my take on it. So how do you market your SaaS as a technical co-founder, right? As someone that is the guy that codes, right? Technical co-founder or founder, right? The guy that codes. Well, I want to demystify what marketing is because I think it's very important. And then if you want actual tangible strategies, go and browse the videos on this YouTube channel. I'll link it down below as well because I have several on actual tangible strategies to market your SaaS. But I think it's important to demystify what marketing is. And so marketing isn't not a big red button, even though I'd love for it to be. Just press it to make money, 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 money. It is not, right? And oftentimes people think it is, right? But marketing isn't a big red button. I'm gonna be reading off of this, but this is a tweet I made a while back. But I think it's important that I read through it and that you analyze this text with me. Okay? If you want to follow me on Twitter, there's also a link in the description. So marketing isn't a big red button, and technical people often don't realize that, don't understand that. Fair enough, right? They're not into marketing, right? They think it is a big red button you just press to get more clients. And the reality is that if it were that easy, we'd all be filthy rich. Again, we'd all just press the button and make money, right? Be amazing. Bro, turn on the Google ads and we get more clients on autopilot. Just record a YouTube video and you get clients for free, right? They miss the whole other side of the iceberg, right? It's not that simple. It's not just this simple, right? You cannot just click a button to turn on ads, you make money, infinite money, right? If it were that simple, again, we'd all be rich. And so the other side of the iceberg is understanding copywriting, like what to write, when to write, what to say, when to say it, how to say it, right? Understanding sales, persuasion, understanding funnels. Each one of these simple things, right? Copywriting is simple, right? Sales is simple, persuasion is simple, right? Funnels are simple, just funnel, right? These things have immense depth to them, right? It is insane. It's really insane. I know I'm reading off of this tweet I wrote, but it truly is insane. The depth that goes into each and single one of these things right here, right? For example, the funnel, right? Just below funnel. The amount of complexity behind building a funnel is something only a person that's ever built one will ever understand. Because again, a funnel, you think about a funnel as, for example, an ad, right? Ads on, let's do a Facebook ad, right? Facebook ad, then goes to a squeeze page or opt-in page where people put in their email, right? And then after the email, they go to the sales page, they buy the product. No, it's not that simple, right? There's a whole like email sequence you need to go over to nurture the lead, right? Right, you got to nurture the lead because people don't just buy like that, right? Nurture the lead. You got to set up all these pages, and in each of these individual pages, you got to do the copywriting, what to write, when to write, how to say, what to say, right? And then this is not just something you build and it stays, right? No, you got to constantly keep on iterating it, changing the copy, adding new things, removing things, right? It's an iterative and constant process, right? Of iteration, right? As I say here, on top of that, you don't just build and it stays there. It needs constant care, iteration, and improvements. So it's never just record a video or just start a podcast or just write a tweet. That's only the front end, right? Because again, technical founders think, or oftentimes, I mean, at least for the people I've known, yes, they struggle with marketing their product. I think personally, I might be wrong, because they think marketing is a big red button, right? Let me think. I want to promote my SaaS, so I'll just start a YouTube channel and start a podcast. And yeah, it's quite simple, right? So I just start a podcast and the leads will come in. Yes, it is simple, but it's not easy, right? The whole baggage that comes with starting a podcast is insane, right? Let's just keep going, just to finish this off. Again, this is just the front end. That's why everyone wants to be an influencer. They only see the front end, right? Money, fame, location freedom, time freedom, money freedom. It looks amazing on the front end, but nobody talks about the back end, right? You see all these influencers have these great lives, right? They just post Instagram pictures, they just record YouTube videos, and they make a shit ton of money. To some extent, yes. But again, you only see the tip of the iceberg. You only see like what's above the water. You don't see what's below, right? The whole amount of work, the compound effort they had to put in for years on end to become famous, right? And how they did it, how they reached it. Because again, if it were that easy, everyone would be famous. And not everyone is famous and rich because it is hard. And oftentimes the argument people say is, they're just famous because it's super easy. I could do it, right? No, you couldn't. You have no idea the work it takes, because again, you only see the front end. And of course, only looking here at the front end, yeah, it looks super easy because you don't see the back end. And the only person that sees the back end is the actual marketer, the actual influencer, the actual person that's making the noise, to some extent. Again, nobody talks about the back end. And also, like I said before, if it were so easy that anyone could do it, everyone would. And who doesn't want to be rich? The reality is that not everyone does it because it's not that easy. And so, a bit of a rant here. I just wanted to, because I made this tweet a while back, and I wanted to sort of convert my thoughts of the tweet into a video, because I think this thing is super important. And not oftentimes, but a lot of times here on this channel, I like to not just record videos with tangible strategies, but record videos that make you actually think. Because critical thinking is like one of the best skills you can have. Because I could give you this step-by-step on how to make millions of dollars, and if you follow it step by step, most likely you would not make billions of dollars, because you're missing the critical thinking. You need to think with your brain. That's the only thing that sets people apart, right? The people that make money versus the people that don't. Is the people that make money actually think for themselves and have critical thinking, right? For example, I record a video telling you to do YouTube videos. maybe because you have critical thinking, you don't do it. And maybe that's a good thing for you, right? I'm just here to give you as much information as I can, and then teach you, not teach you, because I know better than you. I'm just relaying information that I already have in my brain, and if you like it, you apply it. But again, my point here is that oftentimes it is important that I can convey this information, I guess, in a way that it's easy to understand. I know I'm just rambling, but hopefully this was helpful. Alright guys, so in this video I want to go over tracking, which is super important if you guys are having traffic coming in from organic sources. Okay, I want to go over how we do it and how I think you guys should do it too, because tracking sales from ads is quite simple, right? Whether you're doing Google ads, right? Your dashboard that you're using to tracking on Google ads itself will tell you how many leads came from the ads themselves, right? And by leads, you can just set up a tracking event to know if these leads purchase or not, right? This video isn't about ads, but my point is to say that ads are quite easy to track, whether they're Google ads, YouTube ads, LinkedIn ads. I mean, these platforms make it somewhat easier to track sales because you can just put conversion events on your thank you pages, right? But I'm speaking about targeting or tracking, sales from organic marketing. And I want to record this video because most of our sales come from organic marketing efforts, right? And when you're doing organic marketing, and some other videos on this course, I spoke about that. With organic marketing, you test every single platform in the world, because the issue, quote unquote, issue with marketing is that there's infinite things you can do, right? You can do Pinterest, you can do YouTube, you can do Twitter, you can do LinkedIn, you can do flyers on the street. I mean, you can do infinite things, right? And so with organic marketing, the trick is to test every single platform. Now, when you're doing that, when you're testing, you want to make sure you know which platform is converting the best, right? Because you can get, for example, let's say you're focusing on LinkedIn and YouTube as these two platforms to get organic traffic from. And you're posting on LinkedIn, you're getting a bunch of traffic, right? You're getting 1 million impressions per month. Amazing, right? But then you're also posting on YouTube and you're getting, 10,000 impressions per month. So a tenth less. And you might think that, yeah, we should bet on LinkedIn. Well, if you're tracking things properly, you'll notice maybe that the 10K people watching on YouTube per month convert much better than the 1 million ones on LinkedIn. This happens with TikTok, for example. TikTok, it's quite easy to get views, but one view on TikTok is not worth the same, quote unquote, worth the same as a view on YouTube, because a view on YouTube, not only is it more long form, right? But on TikTok, people are just scrolling, mindlessly scrolling, and a 2-second or 1 second timer counts as a view. So a view here is quite worthless compared to a view on YouTube. So you might think, okay, we're getting 1 million views on TikTok per month, and we're only getting 10K per month on YouTube. Let's just go all in with TikTok. Yes and no, right? You need to track it. You need to know if people coming from TikTok are actually buying. That's the whole thing. That's the only thing that matters, right? Views, subscribers, impressions are all vanity metrics. None of that matters. The only thing that matters is purchases. Okay, so how do we track this? Now, just like tracking with ads, tracking with organic isn't 100% reliable. You never will be because of privacy reasons, but I try to make it as reliable as possible. So here's what we do. Very first thing, and I'll give you YouTube as an example, but you can leverage this in any social media network, right? This YouTube video right here, and this is an ad just playing here. In every single video we do, right, we make sure to add links both in the description of the video and also in the pinned comment. And you'll notice that these direct to our homepage in this case, but you can redirect to anything, anywhere you want, right? But you'll notice that there's a UTM tag right here, right? And this UTM tag, so / UTM _ source equals YouTube. This you can change, right? You can put whatever word you want here. You can even put the video shortcode, so you can track exactly from which video the sale came from. But I'll talk about that later on. But this UTM link right here allows us to track, because anyone clicking on this link, right, goes to this page right here, right? They're in our URL with UTM source, and if they sign up, right, we will get on our dashboard, and we will get on Google Analytics or wherever you're using, right, that this person came from this UTM source. And we can see, of course, we can extrapolate, okay, if this person has the UTM source YouTube, we can see that they came from YouTube, right? Again, if you want to track it even further, instead of just doing generic YouTube, you can change the shortcode to the video shortcode. So UTM _ source equals this. So then you can track which sales came from which individual videos. And that's something we did at the beginning, but then I just stopped doing it. But that might be smart to do, okay? But just know that this is customizable, okay? Now again, where will this show up, right? Where will it show up? Google Analytics, right? Google Analytics will show you this, right? Now we don't use Google Analytics because it's too, it's too much stuff. We use this custom dashboard, but it's the exact same thing, right? It's the exact same thing. I want to go over every single one of these right here. But if I go here to UTM source right here, we see that this guy came from YouTube. Okay, this is exactly the same thing that will appear on Google Analytics. Right, so I got it here. So if you go in your Google Analytics acquisition, user acquisition, then scroll down and change this to default channel group, I think. Not this one, maybe this in medium. Sorry, not even this one. My bad. Medium. This one, source medium. These are the UTMs. Okay, so YouTube, right? As you see here again, this is the thing that will show up here. In your Google Analytics, okay? So to track it and then put the UTMs, whether that's on Google, blog posts, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube, whatever you put a UTM in, then to view the clicks and the signups, you just go to your Google search, Google Analytics, okay? Pretty straightforward. Now, again, we don't use it, and I'll tell you why in a second here, but this is where you can use it if you do use Google Analytics, okay? Now, going back here, the reason why we don't use Google Analytics is because it's just too much noise. And so we use this dashboard, which we embedded here on the platform, which is basically the exact same thing, right? It gives us the UTM source, which is all we need for now, okay? Now, you might notice that some people don't have a UTM source, right? Because a lot of things can happen here. They can just literally type your URL in Google. They can just type your brand name on Google and click your URL. They can just type whatever they want on Google and find your site for somehow, right? They can find your site, right? And those will not have a UTM, right? Because not every link has a UTM, okay? It can just be a regular link. So then we added a refer, okay? And this tells us where, and this, by the way, you can also set this up in Google Analytics. This tells us where people came from before they arrived to our website, okay? So it's the previous domain they were in. So for example, this guy, which does not have a UTM source, okay? He came from Google and then to our website. Now, coming from Google, it could be anything, right? He could have typed our brand name on Google, excuse me, and then clicked our site. He could have typed one of the keywords we want to rank for on Google and come to our site. There's a million things he could have done, right? Direct is just they just post our URL straight in the URL bar. Now again, they could have found this first on Google, right? Not clicked our URL and then just pasted it in our URL on the search bar. There's a million things that can happen. That's why this isn't like 100% certain. These guys came from Go. Again, we don't know what they were searching for. These guys came from this domain, and yeah, that's basically it, okay? Now, again, we can also, because we ask, and I want to go over this, we ask 3 questions on sign up. So when someone creates a new account, we make them answer 3 questions. First one is, where did you come from, right? We have Google, LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok, we have a bunch of options, right? Then this one is, what do they identify as, which is basically a way for us to know what ICP they are, ideal client profile. If they're a marketing agency, if they're a solopreneur, e-commerce brand, small business owner, or enterprise, okay? And then the third question is more, right? We give them a bit more leeway to explain where they came from. So for example, again, let's look at this guy. No UTM source, but he came from Google, okay? In the question he answered, of course, he came from Google, perfect. And in the question more, it just said Google and Google, basically, okay? So all these touch points, UTM, refer, 2 questions, 4 touch points allow us to know exactly, or with 90% certain, where people came from. Again, most of these make sense, right? Came from YouTube, where'd you came from? YouTube, and video on YouTube, okay? Now, I want to show you one that might not be as direct. So I do want to scroll down here. This one, they came from Twitter, okay? On Twitter, we have a link in bio to our software, and Twitter automatically adds a custom URL to it, so we know that people came from a certain profile. If you just take this URL and paste it on on Twitter search, you'll know where the exact profile or tweet the person came from. But again, we asked him for a question, and it's always nice to know, okay, yeah, they came from this URL, but how, right? We know they came from Twitter, of course, it adds up, but how? Founder's account, okay, perfect, that's good. Now, let me see, for example here, this guy came from Google, right? Makes sense. But then he also said he searched for our brand name. Now, what does this mean, right? Nobody knows our brand name just because. So surely he might have found us before or another place somehow, because how does he know our brand name? Maybe he knows it, maybe he doesn't, right? We can never be certain. But I would assume that this guy maybe found us on YouTube, whatever, and then search our brand name on Google, okay? Now, we could validate that idea if there were, for example, a UTM source here, but there isn't. Now, let me just scroll down a bit more. This is somewhat of a long video, but I do think it's important that I show you all this. Let me see here. What else do we have here? Let's see. People came from these sites. People come from this tool site. Right here, for example, this says he came from Google, right? Oh, not this one. This says he came from Google, right? And if we were to stop here, okay, we'd assume that he came from Google. But he didn't. He actually came from YouTube and then went on Google to type in for our brand name, most likely. He said YouTube video by the creator himself, I guess, right? If he had watched the YouTube video, right, if he had clicked the link in the description or the link in the bio, he'd be tagged with the UTM source. He didn't. He went on Google, as you see here, the referral, so the site he was on before going to our site was Google. So most likely what happened was he watched the video and then he went in and typed our brand name on Google, clicked our site, and then went to our site. But it initially came from YouTube. So that's why it's super important to have all these touch points, okay? So to have the UTM source, right? Biggest one. UTM source is basically undefeatable to some extent. Then have the referrer, okay? What was the last site or the domain they were on before finding us? But these two aren't enough, right? So having these two questions, where do they came from? So they are prompted to answer, okay, where did you come from, right? And having the question more, so they can have a bit more detail on exactly where they came from in specific, maybe a specific video. Some people oftentimes paste in here URLs. Let me see if I can find this for you real quick. Some people just write some random stuff. So this guy actually came from YouTube, makes sense, YouTube. He came from this video in specific. So I might want to look at the video. If I see this video happening a lot, people suggesting this video a lot, I might like double down and record more of these videos, okay? So this is what we do in terms of tracking, super, super important. Now, we take it a step further. Again, we don't use Google Analytics, we use Post-Hoc to take in all of this data, right? And put it here in a visual way. So this is the signups for, by initial referrer. So for this right here, this column right here. And again, we see that today, 22nd of May, we had a lot of people coming from Google, 7 coming direct, 2 coming from our site, 2 coming from YouTube, 1 from DuckDuckGo, 1 from Twitter so far. Okay, so it allows us to have a visual representation of where people come from. Same thing for signups via initial UTM. Okay, so here, 5 from YouTube, 1 from YouTube PT. This is another channel we have where I put the UTM as UTM PT, right? Again, allows us to have a visual representation of what's happening, right? Now, signups per survey. How do they identify when they sign up? So today, today, 13 people identify as solopreneurs, 8 as other, 3 as SMBs, 2 as marketing agencies, 1 as none, 1 e-com, and 0 as enterprise. Okay, so again, this is a good way because data is only valuable if then you take some action, right? And if we see that more and more solopreneurs are hopping on, and we might change our marketing efforts, we might change our pricing, we might do a bunch of stuff to the business, which we actually do. We constantly look at this data to see what's happening in the business, where people are coming from, what type of people are we attracting, because maybe we are attracting too many solopreneurs. So maybe the content we should be producing, the ads, all of our marketing efforts should be more geared maybe to marketing agencies, right? So again, take the data and do stuff with it. Then sign up form surveys. Where do you hear about us? Again, people say whatever they want, right? And then we have the signups per day. Okay, we only started tracking data like a while back. That's why this is like this. So yeah, this is basically what you need to do to track where people come from. Okay, have an UTM everywhere you can. Track the referrer. Okay, this again, the UTM and the referrer you can track in Google Analytics if you like. We just use it here because Google Analytics has too much noise. But again, Google Analytics works for that. The thing that Google Analytics doesn't work for is having an onboard questionnaire. I'm sure it works to some extent, but yeah, add your onboarding questionnaire to have 4 touch points. So UTM, the referrer, and then the question, where do you come from? Give them options, right? And give them to expand a bit more where they come from exactly, because they might say YouTube and then they might say video specific. They might say Google and then they might say I just searched for XYZ on Google. Okay, so just know that. Okay, for example, this right here, this guy came from YouTube, but he came from a YouTube short. Okay, not from long form video. So I might say, okay, if I see a lot of people coming from YouTube shorts, he called it Reels, but it's a YouTube short, I might like invest a bit more in YouTube shorts. Now, you can see that, of course, he came from YouTube, but again, the last referral URL was Google. So again, he saw it on YouTube and then went on Google to type for our brand name or whatever. Okay, so just know that. So that's basically it. If you have any questions, let me know. This is what we're doing right now. It's what works for us. And it's the data we take to make decisions in both in terms of pricing and where we put our marketing efforts. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers. Right, guys, so we are inside my computer. And again, I want to show you how you can get free money to grow your SaaS. In specific, because I've added it all up, you can get upwards of $850,000 in free money to grow your SaaS. And again, this is by leveraging startup grants. And I want to go over a few. So the main ones will be Google, Microsoft, and Amazon. Because if you're building a software company, right, you're going to have to use servers, right? You're going to have to host your code and your databases somewhere, right? And most people will use either one of these three, right? And if you just Google, right, Microsoft startup program, right, this will come up, right? This is the one we actually used for both our SaaSes, right? More towards the second one because it's more AI based, right? And they give you, like, there's different levels to it. The first level is they give you 5K, right? So you apply, you give 5K. Then you move on to the next level, they give you 10K, right? Then 25K, and then I think 50K, and then upwards of 150K, right? And we're still using some of this, right? So it does work. It's great. I mean, you just gotta apply with your LinkedIn, and they just give you money to spend on their services. And again, if you have a software business, most likely you're going to be using either Microsoft Azure or Amazon AWS. Okay, so again, this is one we're using, and to apply is pretty straightforward. I won't go over how to apply. We just click here to apply, and they give you access to all this stuff. I mean, you can read through it. Not only do you get access to money, but because these guys, Microsoft, of course, partners up with a bunch of different other companies, you get access to Notion for free, Slack for free, a bunch of these other softwares that help you gonna build your business. Now, why do they do this? Of course, it's because they want to lock you in, right? Because if you, as a startup, go with their grant and get $150,000 of their grants, right, and you're hosting your code here and you're building on top of Azure, Microsoft Azure, right, most likely if your startup is successful, right, you'll keep doing business with them. So they do this to lock you in. Google does the same thing, right? Google's program gives you upwards of $200,000, and if you're building an AI startup, which a lot of you guys are, they give you upwards of $350,000, right? It is insane, right? You can put a lot of your business's costs here, so your margins will be like 100%. It's insane. Now you got to read through this. You got to read through what the credits can actually be used for, because again, this isn't money in your bank. Of course, they won't just give you, they don't just wire you $200,000, right? They will let you use upwards of $350,000, of their services. Okay, you got to read through what the services are. Okay, but it is, I mean, if you're building a software business, if you're building a technological company, right, most likely you're going to be using the services that Google offers, Microsoft offers, and Azure offers. So you might as well not pay for them. Might as well just apply for the startup grant program and have the money, like, and use the money like they give you for free, right? There's Azure as well. This is a very good one as well. AWS for startups. Again, this is upwards of, also $300,000. So from 100K to 300K. Again, these, if you're building a SaaS company, you're going to have to host your stuff, right? Why pay for it when these guys can just fund your first years, right? So do this. Now, the cool thing is that, yes, you have these big boys, right? Google, Microsoft, Amazon, the billion-dollar companies giving you credits, because again, they want you to start your business building on their platforms, because again, if you become successful, then you'll continue building on them, and eventually when you run out of credits, you'll start paying them actual money, right? So this is a play on their end. The business model here is that they are betting on you becoming successful, right? And then also, you can mostly do this with any software you want to use, right? Just type in on Google whatever software you want plus startup grant. For example, 11 Labs startup grant. 11 Labs is an AI software that's really cool. There's like translations. You can do text to speech, voice to speech. There's a bunch of stuff, right? And we actually wanted to use this, but it's quite, I mean, it isn't expensive. It's not that it is expensive, right? I mean, we could pay like, it's affordable, right? The thing is that I was thinking, why would I pay for this? Surely they have a startup grant. So I just type on Google, 11 Labs startup grants, and Surely they have a page dedicated to it, right? You get 3 months for free, you get 11,000 credits, you get a bunch more stuff. You just click apply, right? Submit your startup info, submit all this stuff, and you're in. So instead of having to pay for it, I mean, you get access to all the features 3 months for free. And this applies to any software you want, right? Anything that you feel like you need to use to grow your startup, grow your business, make sure to look for grants. Type in the software and then startup grant. Because these businesses want startups. They want startups and they want to lock them in by offering them free money. In this case, if you add up Google's grant, Microsoft, and Azure, it's upwards of $850,000. They want to lock you in with this, right? And then you might as well just take advantage of it. I know this is a short video, but I think it's one of the most important ones, because if you're building a company, most likely you're not rich, right? And so you might as well just take advantage of what these guys are doing and just take their free money. So yeah, that's it. Pretty simple. But honestly, one thing that I wish more people knew, because a lot of people have no idea these exist, right? And they just spend their money, and some companies might just not have enough runway, right? You might only have, I don't know, some money in your bank account that's not enough for however many months. Let's say, for example, it takes a while for your business to actually start going, right? And what if you run out of money here, right? With this, right, you'll never run out of money until you're successful, right? So the whole goal of this, and the reason why they give you money, is to like make sure your runway until success is super long, so you can make a shit ton of mistakes until you're successful, right? And by here you should be able to have not exhausted all the money, but eventually, yeah, and then you start paying them. So yeah, hopefully this made sense. So go out and get these startup grants, because they're super, super valuable. By the way, I'll leave 2 links in the YouTube video description. One for the current SaaS I'm building, another one for a 100% free SaaS course where I go over a bit more of this stuff, more in depth, and with a bit more care and a bit more behind the scenes. So if you want to learn a bit more about how to grow, market, and eventually sell your SaaS, just click that second link. And if you want to know a bit more about the SaaS I'm currently building, just click the first link. So yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Forward this to a friend who is looking to have some free money for their business, and like, comment, and subscribe, because that really helps out the algorithm. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Yo, this is Vasco from the future here. By the way, I wanted to chime in here and say, don't just watch this video and don't take action, right? That's not very smart, because if you're actually building a software business, this is insane value, right? Almost $1 million in grants, right? Upwards of $850,000 in grants for you to build your business, right? You get access to Slack for free, Notion for free. So a bunch of these product management, communication tools, AI credits if you're building an AI startup, credits in ads, Google ads, whatever ads you want, right? This is such an insane amount of value that not a lot of people know about. And if you actually do it and take advantage of this, right, you're going to be ahead of the people that don't do it, because you'll have, if you get access to all this money, which you should quite easily, you have like a 1 to 2 year runway, right, of being able to build unprofitably. I mean, hopefully you don't do it unprofitably, but if it ends up happening, if things end up going like sideways and a bit wrong, right, you have 2 years, almost, or 1.5 years of money to spend and invest into trying to grow your business, right? This is insane. And these companies do it because they really want you to succeed. That's why they give you all this money. Because again, if you succeed, you'll use their platforms and they'll make money off of you in the future. And so again, don't just watch this video and then just go out and watch some MrBeast videos. Actually go out and apply this stuff. Actually go out and apply for the grants. Because again, it's free money that you should be leveraging, because it's going to give you a huge runway of free money, right? And if it's me versus you, and again, you leverage the grants and you don't, you're going to run out of money so much faster, because maybe you're using some savings of yours, maybe you're using some friends' money, maybe you took out a loan, hopefully not, right? And I'm just, quote unquote, taking out a loan from these guys. And it's not even a loan, because the money is free, right? Even in the case that, for example, you start your business, you get these grants, you get all this money, and you fail, right? You don't have to pay these guys back, right? They will not ask you for the money back. This is not a loan. This is literally free money. This is literally the definition of free money. So again, I urge you, please, if you click off of this video and have a SaaS or want to start one, go out and apply for this stuff. It is insane, right? Again, not a lot of people know about this. So yeah, go out and do it. Again, I'm going to say one last time, if you don't do it, people that are doing it are going to have so much easier lives, because they're going to have a bigger runway. While you might be stressed about spending your own money, your competitors are spending Google's money or Amazon's money or Microsoft's money, right? And again, you don't even have to pay it back. That's the biggest thing. Even if you fail, you don't have to pay it back. So again, go out and do it. I'm repeating myself, I know, but super important. Right, so I want to talk about the dark side of LTDs for SaaS. LTDs standing for lifetime deals. And a lot of people try and do this, and I want to cover the good, the bad, what we did, and how I would have done it differently. Okay, super important video, because an LTD, a lifetime deal, could be a fast growth strategy, but there's a lot of downsides to it, in my opinion, compared to the good. Okay, so I want to cover both and then have you make a decision based on the info that I present to you here. Okay, because my goal isn't to tell you what to do, it's to show you evidence based on what we're doing, and then you can take that information in critical thinking and try and make a decision for yourself on what's best for your business. Okay, so let's break it down. Okay, now again, from someone who did this but no longer does. Okay, now the good thing about LTDs and lifetime deals, is that you can make a lot of money quickly for your SaaS. For example, for this one right here, we made just almost $8,000 in just a few weeks. With this product, we were selling a lifetime deal. So for $99, this was a SaaS, by the way. We've since discontinued this, but just a couple of weeks or months, we made an almost 8K, right? And it's not so much about the money, right? That's good, right? But also we've validated the idea, right? 8K or almost 8K, is enough to have the idea validated, okay? So we've done this. Now, eventually we discontinued this SaaS, so all the people were refunded. So again, the good side is that you can make some quick cash super fast. So you have this idea for your SaaS. You don't even have to build it sometimes, because, for example, this right here, so my recording software just crashed, but as I was saying, this right here didn't even exist, right? This product didn't exist. It was just literally a landing page, with a video where I just explained, listen guys, this is what the software is going to be about. We're offering it $99 lifetime deal. If you want to grab it, go ahead. Okay, so that was what this was about. And now I want to cover the two ways when you should be offering an LTD, because if you don't fall in either of these two categories, you should not be offering an LTD. Okay, so first time where you should be offering LTD is if you don't have a product, right? If you want to do something like this. So if you have this amazing idea and you want to validate it before building it, just build a landing page, right? Put the pricing box right here for a lifetime deal, and then just send it out, basically send traffic into this and see if people buy. Okay, that's a great way to do an LTD, because again, you don't have any product and you're saying to people, listen guys, I'm going to build this if there's enough interest, and just pay me. And if enough people pay me, I will start building this, okay? This is what we did, by the way. Then the second way, or the second time in which you be shooting offering an LTD, is when you have an MVP, no more than that, right? And you want to launch it into the market, right? Now, granted, you should not launch anything more than an MVP. Because if you already have a product, you should not be doing LTDs. It doesn't make any sense, right? And so this is the timeline I built, and I want to show you what this means. I know the video crashed, but hopefully it all makes sense when I join the parts. And so basically, from here to here, maybe it takes you like a day to build the landing page, this right here, right? And then you don't have a product, but then after a few days, you can just launch it, right? Now from here to building an MVP, a minimum viable product. If you don't know what that is, we have videos on that too. But again, it takes you a bit more time, and then you can do the launch for the LTD. Now, what you shouldn't do is invest all of this time until you build your product and then do the LTD. That doesn't make any sense, right? Launching an offer for a lifetime deal should only be done here in this time frame, whether you have no product or you have an MVP. Okay, only these two. If you're doing an LTD and you already have an established SaaS, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, LTD is just a way to validate your idea to get some quick cash. Okay. Now, I mean, some people might think differently, but I think that's the way to go, honestly. Now, here's the reality of the bad side of doing LTDs, right? First thing is that, honestly, you're going to be overloaded with support, because the reality is that if you're selling an LTD, a lifetime deal to your SaaS, you'll be stuck with supporting these users forever. Okay, so if you're selling an LTD for a user, you're giving him or them or whatever lifetime access to using your software. So you're going to be supporting their costs and their support forever, because that's basically the contract you signed with them. So take that into account. And this can come and bite you in the ass, right? Because for 2 years from now, right, they paid $99. If you divide that by 2 years, it's just $50 a year, which is like $5 a month. and they can open as many tickets as they want. They can border you, right? And so you'll need to support these people, right? So take that into account when you're doing LTDs, right? And this might not seem like bad, but it's real bad. It can become real bad, okay? Second thing is the meaning of LTD, right? LTD means one-time payments. So no recurring, no MRR, no recurring revenue. So they don't actually add as much revenue or money value to your SaaS. So again, take that into account when you're doing it. Third is, of course, the value perception, right? If you're offering big discounts, which this is the biggest discount you can do in LTD, right? Your product will seem cheaper than it is, right? And this can mess with your future pricing. So if you're doing an LTD, only doing it at the beginning. Because if you already have an established SaaS, you're charging $49 a month, and all of a sudden you do an LTD all of a sudden, right? This will inherently devalue your SaaS, right? And you don't want to be reducing the perceived value of your SaaS, okay? Now, fourth one, and I want to talk about AppSumo right here, right? And AppSumo, if you don't know, is this site right here where basically they offer software deals, right? If you go to their landing page, every single thing that's here is a software, basically a bunch of software deals that they offer. And a lot of these are LTDs, right? A lot of these are lifetime, as you can see here, lifetime. Let me just close this. Lifetime, right? All these 40, right? As you can see, 40. Most of these are lifetime. The ones that they feature are lifetime. So note that on AppSumo, and if you're doing an LTD, most likely you're going to be launching on AppSumo, right? Because that's the place to go to launch LTDs. Of course, you can go to your email list, but if you're just starting again, because again, if you're doing LTD, you should be just starting. You don't have an email list, you don't have a following, you don't have anything to promote it to. So what you do is you leverage AppSumo's traffic and have them put your SaaS right here, and then they send you all the traffic and you make money. Of course, you give them a cut, by the way. I think it's like 60%. So just keep that in mind too. But again, AppSumo's users are deal hunters, right? The whole site is based on deals, lifetime, right? Access to whatever all these tools are, right? And thing is with deal hunters, right, might not stick around to engage much with your product, right? Because they're looking for deals, not particularly for software. A lot of people just go here and see, this is so cheap, I'm just going to buy it. And some of them don't even end up using it. And the issue with this is bad because you want early users to engage with your product as much as possible, right? Because the more feedback you have, the more iteration you can do, and the better your product becomes, and the more money you make. And so without a feedback loop, you're essentially doomed. And the issue again with lifetime deals is that people, oftentimes, not all of course, people buying LTDs is that they don't care very much for the product they're buying. They care more for the deal they're acquiring, if that makes sense. And this might not seem like something that's very, very bad or very important, but trust me, it is, right? Because you want feedback. You want the people to be engaged. And by default, deal hunters are not people that are engaged, okay? So they take that into account too. Now, fifth, basically these people aren't your ideal customer, right? People, like I said before, who are looking for deals and cheap stuff aren't your ideal customer. They complain a lot and they demand a lot. Okay, and again, they're going to be demanding forever because you just offer them LTD. So if I just go here and buy this stuff right here for LTD for $7 for life, right? I can just bother them for my whole life if I want to. And people do this. And there's a lot of complaints of people that launch LTDs, whether that's on AppSumo or not, and that the clients that they got them, yes, they got the initial cash flow influx, but then on the long run, it's not really worth it because they have a lot of quote unquote bad people that don't care for the product, people that bother them with support requests, support tickets, refunds. It's a pain in the ass. Next one is, of course, your brand image. And this is very important because being on AppSumo, right? And I'm just not just cracking on AppSumo. AppSumo is great. I'm talking about all these places where you can do LTDs. AppSumo is the best one if you do want to do it, okay? It might make your brand seem like a budget option, right? It lowers your brand's perceived value. Going on AppSumo may be a quick cash grab, but it's not a long-term strategy, okay? So take that into account. And then finally, but like second to last one, refund headaches. AppSumo, in the case of AppSumo, they have a 60-day refund policy, which can lead to high refunds users if users aren't happy. So you might be building for someone that won't actually like what you're building, thus won't pay you. So meaning that you can list on AppSumo, lifetime deal, you can they buy from you, you go out, you build the product you're building, you get all this cash, and then in 60 days from now, like 50% of your buyers ask for a refund. This can happen. I mean, I'm not saying it will, but just take that into account. I wanted to cover every single thing that can go wrong, okay? And now, oh, by the way, before I show you this one, I had this little example right here talking about the non-ideal customer, right? This like meme is the perfect thing, right? $500 client. I just felt as though with this investment, I am about to make you that we should understand how our lives, blah, 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 blah. Talk a lot, complain a lot, demand a lot. 50K client, money sent, thanks. And I know this is like sort of a meme, sorry, but this applies in business very, very, very much. So if you're doing LTDs, you're looking at this type of client and you're not looking at this type of client. So take that as you will, but this is just the reality, okay? And finally, down here is communication overload. So if you're offering an LTD, you're hopefully, and probably, by the way, just getting started. Again, don't only do LTDs if you're in these two brackets right here or here. Don't do LTDs if you already have an established product. At least that's what I think. I don't think you should do that, honestly. So again, hopefully you're only and probably doing LTD if you're just getting started with your SaaS. So be ready for an influx of support tickets that will overwhelm you. And I'm saying this because this happened to us with this, okay? People want to do all this stuff and we want to do those stuff, but it was just so much, okay? Because people expect big things to be done quick. That's just the reality. And if you're offering LTD, they paid for it. They want to see it done fast. Okay. And finally, quick note right here. You can launch on AppSumo without an LTD, but you probably won't make much money. They mostly promote LTDs because that's what their audience is looking for. That's what their audience is looking for. Okay. Again, if you go to the homepage, all of the ones they promote the most and to their email list are lifetime deals. All of these are lifetime deals, right? So if you're not pumping out a lifetime deal, you won't even be featured on a homepage. So all these are lifetime deals. All of them, all of these, 88, all these are lifetime deals. So just know that if you want to leverage AppSumo, at least in LTDs, it needs to be an LTD. Sorry, if you want to leverage AppSumo, you need to be doing an LTD because non-LTDs will not be showed on the homepage on the email list. Because I mean, again, the audience for AppSumo is people looking for deals, and so that's basically the bad of it, the good of it. To recap, I've done it, I didn't enjoy it, and with future ones, we didn't do it because all of these stuff right here, okay? So take that as you will. If you do want to do it, make sure you do it if you're in these two scenarios right here. And yeah, that's basically it. Now, I do want to mention, of course, there are some success stories, right? For example, these guys right here went in 4 months from 350K in ARR, so annual recurring revenue, to 1 million with AppSumo. Okay, these guys right here offered lifetime deals and made, let me see right here, 6,000 customers just off of AppSumo. Okay, you can read these case studies. They have some of them are successful. Sorry, these guys grew their MRR 50% month on month just off of AppSumo. So again, offering LTDs, offering these crazy deals can work to grow your SaaS. But I mean, and this one is another one right here. I mean, yeah, I mean, it just works. Okay, for some people, right? I'm not saying it won't work for you. Most likely, of course, it won't work, but it can work. But just know that if it does work, this comes with it, okay? And so that's my biased approach to it. Now, you decide based on this info if you want to do it or not. If you do, you can make some quick cash. Granted, of course, there's like a whole long process to be listed on AppSumo. Not any software can be listed on AppSumo. And also, you cannot list a software on AppSumo that's in the number 1 stage. So you cannot like list a non-product. You can only list an MVP. So just take that into account. So if you want to take this approach right here, you're gonna have to do it outside of AppSumo. So you can still do LTDs outside of AppSumo. But if you have an MVP, you can launch an AppSumo if you want. So yeah, that's it. That's my biased approach. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Right, that's the end of the free SaaS course. Hopefully this was valuable. I tried to pack as much value into this as I possibly could. I mean, I could speak on hours on end about all this stuff. The course would be like 10 hours long. So if you want a bit more content on this, maybe more tangible strategies, if you want to ask questions to me directly, go to the first link in the description, okay? And if you join that for free, right, you get access to me one-on-one. You can ask questions. We can hop on calls. You can do all this cool stuff that maybe I wasn't able to answer some of your questions here on this free course. So yeah, click the very first link in the description. And I'll also leave a second link. This is only for a certain type of people. So if you want to work one-on-one with me, you can. It's going to be the second link in the description. No pressure for that. I mean, it is not free. It is paid, because if you want me to be sort of your co-founder and be working with you to grow your SaaS, whether that's taking it from 0 to 10K or from 10K to 10K, 30K, 40K, whatever, right? I can help you with that. But if you just want to ask questions and stuff, just click the first link. But if you want to like grow your current SaaS and invest money into having me help you, click the second link. So yeah, that's it. Other than that, make sure to like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments down below, like, what other videos you want to see from me, right? Because I basically record videos on what you guys want. And so yeah, that's it. Thank you so much again, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.